Who do you guys think Seattle's going to take in the third round of the PWHL draft? The next hour will be discussion.
JoJo Shabadoo.
You're probably right.
That wheelchair plays strong in goalie.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Especially if it's like the slanted wheels.
That may be
it's definitely the murder ball version.
Yeah, that may be a toss-up, man. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Time will only tell.
Hashtag facts.
What's going on, YouTube world? Michael, Vincenzo, Steve, I'm Dave, IRP235. Hopefully Ryan, Neil, maybe. Neil never looks at anything until like after the show's over, even though I sent it to him, I think yesterday afternoon. And any other time we go back and forth, he's boom, 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 and then it's all of a sudden, well, cold feet time.
Are you texting or are you communicating via IG?
Messenger.
Oh, see, like I have found that I get responses via text frequently. Of course, I have to engage said text, but I do get a response fairly quickly.
Ryan's super quick. Neil,
I don't know. Like it depends. Like because you're right. Under normal circumstances, Ryan's like Johnny on the spot. But then depending on, I think it's all based on circumstance. Like for any of us, if you really think about it. But very rarely do I not get a response within like the hour from him.
Yeah, so. Neil, not so much. Ryan, and again, I'm usually okay if there's like a Chicago show, Fanatics Fest. If he was out at something like that, the National, I don't expect him to.
He still is quick.
Still though, my expectations are tempered. Where it's like, okay, it's 1 p.m. on a Monday afternoon, and I don't know if the shop is still closed Mondays.
I think it is.
But it's like, okay, maybe that time he's got a little more free time to chitter chat a little bit. So, but Neil is Neil.
Neil is Neil, but Kiddo is much younger, so we always have to take that into consideration. Not during the day, of course, when he's working like he should be.
Yeah.
On the flip side, he is one of the workhorses. No offense, Ryan. I know you're not watching right now, but
well, I think Ryan by now knows that. It's not like
well, and he'll like it's not like he won't say it either.
No.
But I don't want to talk too bad about our future guests. Not that we can't get away with it. We've known them forever and a day.
Yeah, Neil is the brains, the analytics of the operation.
Well, they're both the brains.
Well, again, the analytics brain. Ryan's like the more creative. I know Neil's got some of the dominoes in there. I know this, so it's not like I'm not saying Ryan. But
Ryan, like. He knows, he probably knows the market better than most.
Oh yeah,
like he stays on top of it. Like he knows pricing. Like I still, it blows my mind. Like back in the day, he could sit there and rattle something off out of the middle of fucking nowhere. Oh yeah, this like something like this, like between X and X, and you go look it up and. Like he's dead on. It's fucking crazy the amount of information that he just like puts in the brain of his.
And now how much more difficult that is with such a volatile market of adding so many variables. instead of what it used to be. And people, I would say it was consistent, but there's not much delineation between PC and what you'd sell. I mean, the market.
No, that's not what you meant. You meant exactly what you were going to say.
That's a possibility, a very good possibility.
Come on, Dave. Like, let's not sugarcoat the shit, man. This is not how we roll. Come on.
The Heat Dome was oppressive on Saturday and Sunday. I do not have the Heat Dome currently, so I'm very happy because I don't have AC upstairs. So hot air rises, cold air sinks. So hot air, plus me being a hot windbag, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's moved off to the east.
Very little sleep, yeah. And like last night, it was like a low of like 44, I think. And I'm like, this is heaven.
I'm jealous.
So,
aren't we all?
That was, if I didn't have that, that would have been Struggle Bus Jones. I don't like that.
Well, it hit 100 where Ed is. So I'm like, I couldn't say much. Vinny's complaining about, 88 degrees or 80, whatever it was. It's
96.
9 o'clock. I was talking about yesterday.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, cry me a fucking river. It's still 93 here, and it feels like almost 100.
I don't live in the friggin' South for a reason.
But then, of course, Ed busts out with the freaking 100 degrees and the heat index of, I don't know, 108, 110, whatever the fuck it was. And I'm like, I had no response. Because I'm like, you're hotter than us. And that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Our heat index has been in the hundreds for 4 or 5 days straight now.
Humidity is you got major humidity?
Yeah, we've been getting up around like 96, 98 with 106, 109 heat index. I think we had, I think yesterday was 114 heat index.
That's normal Texas in July and August. Like the fact that Missouri and even, PA dealing with shit like that. But again, it's the heat dome. It decides where it wants to go, where it wants to start. And then eventually it'll work its way to where it stays over Texas for the rest of the fucking summer. That's just usually how it works.
Our next day under 90 is supposed to be Friday.
I ain't even bothered to look.
And there's supposed to be rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So there you go.
Yeah, I think we only have rain in the forecast on Wednesday. Oh, they've even they've dropped the percentage on Wednesday. So yeah, all we're doing is progressively getting hotter. But again, like to be going into almost July and it's still only being in the mid 90s, I'm not complaining. Even with a high heat index of 100, 102. Because we've still had a breeze. Which freaking helps tremendously.
It's going to rain here for the next 7 freaking days. But
Well,
it's only supposed to be 82 tomorrow, which is cool.
So, Vinny, Michael, y'all can send some rain our way because, we need to get a little bit more before, we get absolutely nothing for the next 2.5 months.
Yeah. We had enough with all those storms where the last 3, it turned green outside. It's deafening silent.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, well, I don't live in Texas again.
I know, but it's like
I'm not used to that. I was born in the mountains. We don't deal with tornadoes too often.
I'm giving you shit, as you very well know, but it's everybody talks about freaking Tornado Alley, and it's only expanding.
Yeah.
And increasing as far as the number of tornadoes, it seems, year over year. Maybe it's a little bit of a fluctuation up and down, but Tornado Alley is definitely expanding and quite strong too, to say the least. I haven't paid attention to anything going on like for hurricane season, but I mean, shit, they've already had at least 5 named storms, because I want to say something like Eli, Eddie, or something hit somewhere on the west coast of Mexico.
Like Baja or south of the Baja. There are already 5 storms into their season. I haven't heard anything Atlantic, but Atlantic seems to get going usually about this time to early July.
About now.
So,
Yeah, but still, the fact that like they're already in the E's as far as named storms, and hurricane season just started a couple weeks ago, technically, roughly. Research department confirmed as far as when
Pacific might be a little sooner because of
do they delineate that as far as hurricane season for like, and I'm referring to like for FEMA, for instance, like, because
I'm not
FEMA
sure.
only deals with like the U.S. and
Yeah.
its
June
territory.
1st to November 30th.
June 1st. Okay. So 3 weeks.
No, we had storms. I was sending them Friday night?
Oh,
All the
you've sent so many this year. Like, I can't keep all the shit. Like, I can't keep up with it all, because there's been that many for all of us in the group chat. That doesn't include those that you send to other people.
Yeah.
Michael, I send to him, and it's always the same. I know. Everybody says the same. I'm like, I know, but if I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I see fucking Aubrey, Texas, I'm like, I need, even if Steve is watching the same thing, I have to do that, because if I don't,
the minute you don't, somebody's not gonna know. So
Yeah.
like, I trust me, I get it.
11:30 at night, and that one was just here north.
Yep.
I'm like, there's something up there, so again, just be aware. So yeah, when I see Sedalia, I'm like, okay, it's not like it's gonna be bad, but just because the one time a couple weeks ago, you and Alicia were downstairs in the basement, fucking sirens are churning. It's like, I'd rather tell you and have you tell me I'm aware. That's good. I don't want you sitting outside. Oh, I had a kite, and then I was a key on the end of the kite. I'm glad you told me now. Like, so yeah, it's just
that. So that major one that you would ended up sending, that was just north. I think I got 3 alerts, 2 text messages, and 3 phone calls.
and all from me.
No, I was talking like from the National Weather Service. Of course, it was the local emergency management system. But it's like, I responded to each one because like they asked, did you receive this? Like, press one for yes, whatever. But yeah, like, how many times do I need to fucking respond? Like, stop fucking calling me. I already told you, yes, I got this. I'm aware. Thank you. There are cows very close, but they'd be flying east, so I wouldn't see them. Unfortunately, they're southeast of my apartment, so I wouldn't be seeing them flying unless they were picked up, up the road this way. Then perhaps maybe I would. But look at when we had. Oh my God! Wow, I feel like an asshole.
You feel like me losing
He's trying to come
Byron
up.
Leftwich. Byron Leftwich.
No, how in the fuck? Jeff, Jesus, when Jeff was on. And I went outside to smoke briefly. And as I walked out the door, I'm like, man, the fucking wind is kicking up. Like, I knew we were supposed to have some rain. I went out there. I'm like, holy shit. I was almost soaked from going to smoke a cigarette to go under the freaking covered parking over here. So then, of course, I went outside on the back porch because, like, Dave enjoys seeing some of that. I'm like, yeah, this is what I walked outside to as the freaking, like, shit's blowing like crazy. No, like, that one, there was like severe thunderstorm warning, but nothing that was going to indicate what I would probably say 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. Because the trees were freaking like, I'm like, oh. But we're pretty much through we should be through all the severe weather. Now it's just going to start getting hot as fuck.
Yeah, stuff came through North Dakota, and that was one too. I texted Micah, and he's like, "Oh, looks bad." I'm like, "Yeah, there's a tornado. It's nighttime, so yeah, that is bad."
Well, yeah, because you can't see it.
Like, I know it's not part of your twins collection, but at the same time. And then I texted one of the guys out there that guy that he's talked about before in his videos, going to see him wrestle. That Josh, and I'm friends with him. I said, "Hey, get some weather out your way. I don't know if you're up. I want to make sure you're aware of it." So, I know he's got, I believe, a son and a wife too. So I'm like, I'd rather have you know and be like, "Ugh, why are you doing this?" instead of hearing about people expiring or getting hurt. And there's some of them. It's, again, a long shot to begin with, but still, the positivity of my mind thinks in that regard. So when I'm sending screenshots of like
the radar,
8-mile Sterling Heights Township or whatever, and I'm like, in between there, I'm like, I don't know where you're going, but you were looking at possibly some troublesome weather, Vincenzo, and again, I'd rather.
The crazy thing. So that same storm system that dropped the tornado north of us, well, suspected tornado. I don't think actually one dropped, but there was enough circulation to where it was bad enough. It's the first time since we've been here, and I want to say in the last few years that, like, I had the kid in the bathroom with the dogs in the bathtub. I was in my bathroom. I had the door cracked just so I could hear, because, I could kind of hear what was going on and where it was coming from and how close, even though, like, those tornado paths, they go the same direction. And of course, nothing happened. And what's interesting is I even exited my bathroom because I even had the TV on to have the weather still on. So, like, we didn't lose power or anything. Living in Texas, I've said this before, we have no storm shelters. So it's always innermost room in your house, no windows. If you live high, you move down low, like same security measures. Even before the tornado warning expired, and as I was listening to the weather, like, I knew it wasn't going to hit us. I had already known it wasn't going to hit us. I went outside, like right outside my front door. Obviously, there wasn't a single person who paid attention to the fact that there was a tornado warning. There was nobody like in the breezeway under, like there was nobody. I'm sitting there going, people, do you not like, are you stupid? Like multi-story building, get to the lowest floor. Oh no, you're gonna go ahead and like stay in your apartment, like no big thing. Yeah, well, okay. Whatever.
Well,
I
that's
digress.
a lot of those videos too you've seen before, like Tuscaloosa. Again, El Reno, Moore, all in like Oklahoma. You see I-35, it's fucking congested at like rush hour. It's like, I know, again, instances Texas. The traditional thought process of Tornado Alley, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, or Kansas, Nebraska, a little bit of Iowa. Again, that's what people think of as Tornado Alley. Again, it's more into Missouri, and especially in the springtime, Bama, a little bit of Georgia, a little bit of Tennessee, Louisiana. They all get lumped in more so in the spring than I think now. Again, not saying it can't happen now, but in Illinois, Southern Illinois is a hotbed. Iowa, Missouri, mostly from, and again, it almost seems to leave out. You go down, it's not 35, it's whatever, like to Columbia, and then like over north of St. Louis, these are like northeast quadrant. Not out, but I mean, when you talk about the rest of the state seems to get more. Anyway, it just seems like, well, we've been through this before and nothing's happened. It's like the crying wolf. I'd rather have somebody say, hey, and now with apps and shit, you can see it on your phone. It's not like you're just looking outside and like, yeah, it's sunny, a little breezy, but I'm gonna have a picnic. No, look at your fucking phone. I mean, most of the time now, it's well in advance that shit's gonna happen.
Well, because
So,
they, like most of your meteorologists, they do the storm track, and the storm track is big enough to cover a few miles. And you know what I mean? To where it's like, if you're in any of these areas, if anybody understands a tornado, it's not a straight line. Anyways, it can dance. So, like, if you're in this area, anything is possible. Pay attention.
and if you're just north of the warning or south of the warning, also pay attention because it could occlude into the storm again. And if it's here,
It could
it
move.
might come down there for the next one if the rotation's strong enough. But I don't get the, and again, it's like, I don't even know what I'd compare it to, but it's just like anybody that's on here knows that I love weather. That's the thing I'd love to do the most. Storm chase. Now, like cards though, you watch the videos, everybody's fucking out there. Everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I wanted a pug in the mid-90s. Those are popular. Corgi, everybody and their mother, brother, sister, fucking grandma, grandpa, aunt, neighbor, everybody got one. There was another thing. Cards, all of a sudden, that takes off. Weather, tornado chasing, storm chasing. Boom. Everybody's out there. And I'm like, I'm just going to like look at a wall. Maybe that'll become popular. People staring at fucking walls. Blank
Watch paint
walls.
dry.
Put stuff on there. Just blank walls. Like, oh man.
Watch paint dry.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll become a thing.
It's stupid. Also in Oklahoma, nobody will know him. Nobody will care. RIP to Gary England, weathercaster for Channel 9. OKC just died last week. But that's one, if you go back and look at like some of the more tornadoes and stuff that hits like southern OKC proper, he's one of the guys that's like the main meteorologist on there. So you've probably heard his voice if you are into weather even up to your ankles. Unlike me, up to my neck and beard region. So, but he was also what, born in '39, so that would be what, 80
Old.
86.
So,
Old.
oh, Scott, I'd love to just the one guy said or two guys I'd go with, Daniel Shaw, he's from Australia, and Pecos Hank, because he's a guy who he's from Texas, but he always stops for animals and like sort of integrates, like, I know one of them is like a horned frog. Well, that's fucking cool. Nobody else is stopping for this thing. With
Well,
snake.
those are protected too.
So just seeing that stuff, it's like I don't need to hear like people, there's a tornado, like shouting like backyard breaks and those type of idiots. I try to. If I don't like them in cards, I don't like them anywhere. It's not like, well, I'll tolerate somebody being a jagoff and screaming that like, there's a tornado. That's an F4 tornado. No, just hold on, it just dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, you're not going to know what it is until afterwards. Stand down.
Or a huge. That's a huge tornado. I'm like, it's a big tornado. Tuscaloosa was a huge tornado. El Reno was a huge tornado. Any of the southern Oklahoma City ones were huge fucking tornadoes.
Yeah, when they reach a mile in diameter, that's fucking big.
This just dropped. So I mean, let's pump our brakes on not only the car but your like commentary. So
well, yeah, but on the flip side though too, it's just because it's big doesn't mean it's an EF5 either.
no, God no.
And that's that. And I'm not going to use the terminology of a lot of people or most people because like I would be speaking out of line. But I feel as though just because a tornado seems to be large in diameter, there's the misconception that, oh shit, this thing is huge. It's gonna be an EF5. And it could be an EF3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the beautiful mystery of tornadoes in the first place. Like, because still to this day, we still don't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think of the advancement in freaking weather technology and everything else. Granted, like we're better now as far as predictive nature and everything else when it comes to stuff comparative to, even 10 years ago, I would say, which is always a good thing. But even then, like there's times in which I'll go on a tangent and I'll stumble across a YouTube video specific to like a tornado outbreak during this time or whatever. And these are all more recent. And then of course I'll go down the rabbit hole because then there's the other suggested videos and, I can't even remember when it was, but it was the big fucking tornado outbreak that just like would not stop. There was almost like 100 that were dropped in like one day. Hey, there's Orlando. What's going on, Orlando? And
So
there was one
75 because there's one in Ohio.
No, this was recent. This was recent.
So that would have been probably 2011. That was like the Mississippi, Alabama.
Could have been, but like a ton, like just ridiculous numbers. And there was one that basically like seemed like it went for hundreds of miles. Like it was just crazy. And the strength of it was so bad that not only was it like leveling houses and like ripping off doors off of storm shelters, you were like literally like it was ripping up foundations from houses and obliterating the whole fucking thing to dust. How do you protect yourself from that? Like, here I am in Texas. We have no storm shelters. Like, there is no protection from that.
No.
Like, I'm fucked. Just saying.
Yeah, because you got the clay down there or whatever. So you can't really build into
Texas clay. Yep. That's why foundations are done so special here comparative to other places. But like, I'm fucked.
Agreed, Stuke. Like the ones in Pennsylvania, most of them are built into the freaking rock. Like you could see, like where my dad built in the basement, it was two houses. They were company houses. They're split. And what he did is he bought two houses and he tore out the middle to make one giant house. And like my grandmother only owned half a side of a house. So she had 3 bedrooms upstairs and there was 3 rooms downstairs and a porch on each end. But in the basement, it was all cement and friggin' rock. So if something was coming through, it would have got a lot of that. But those houses were built with dinosaur wood too, as my brother would call them. Like when we took they used to put I'm trying to think of the word.
peanut butter and jelly.
Shingle. They actually put shingles as siding on the house. So when we ripped off the shingles, we put regular siding up. But that wood was so dirty with the coal dust from 100 years that it's just, and those, I mean, the foundations of those houses are just freaking cement and mixed with stone. And it's not even brick, it's stone. So that's why my wife's insistent on our house here is all brick. She wants the next house to be all brick.
Well, it actually, I can only speak from a state of Texas perspective because we have a few neighborhoods that are hardy plank siding. And although it meets fire standards and everything else, it still costs you more to insure a house that is all hardy plank siding than what it does if it's all brick.
Yeah.
Because brick burns at a higher temperature. Not that it matters if your house catches on fire, it's still going to cause major damage.
Yeah.
No matter if it's hardy plank siding or if it's brick. But again, the only protection options that we have, you can buy tornado resistant, I'll call it sheds. That's not what they are, but they're kind of similar. And you install them in your garage. So
Basically, a roof is not a roof.
Correct. And it's almost like plexiglass, but it's so strong that it can withstand a freaking piece of wood at 230 miles per hour. It'll just repel it, which for the most part, you're protected from almost anything in that situation. But again, that's your only form of protection. And they bolt them into your foundation and everything else. But I still think about that video I watched, the fact that a freaking storm shelter's steel door got ripped off because of the pressure of that fucking hurricane. And I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, great. I'm going to spend all this money. I'm going to go put my family in this fucking room in my garage and watch. This shit's going to be freaking snatched up and we're going to be going for a ride. Anyways, it's amazing how we can go down all sorts of rabbit holes when it comes to weather.
Well, we do have the chief meteorologist of the city sitting above us.
This is true.
Above me, at least.
Not me.
Well,
now above you.
oh.
Of course, we're putting Michael to sleep talking weather.
Yeah, he's just like, I've heard this shit before. I've seen this shit before.
He should expect it by now for knowing Dave probably for 15 plus years.
Well, this is true, but since you had mentioned Ryan about 9:15, I'm going to go step outside real quick because I want to make sure I can bring him on not long after he comes in the waiting room. So I'll be back.
And so when you get back, we'll do our the topic.
I didn't even know there was a topic till you pointed it out.
I had it. I don't know where the fuck my notebook is. Not here. So I've got him, I think, memorized. I hope.
There, I went through, I looked up a list of like the last 30 years of ESPN. 80s, I don't remember as much. Probably not to like maybe 87, 88. Charlie Steiner is like the one that I remember way back in Berman. But
And see, that's where I can picture all these guys.
yeah,
I don't. There's names I didn't even look up. Again, the people I like, but right away when I thought of the list, or when you had sent the list or sent the suggestion, I know number one, it isn't even a thought.
yeah.
But then I'm gonna have a couple like teams. And when I went through it, I'm like, well, I know I'll have one. I think I said that last week.
Yeah.
And with two more, but
Right now,
because of the sport,
yeah.
two, not like
the only guy that I really know now is Scott Van Pelt because he's become like the prominent most nights. It's like Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. He's it, which kind of is mind blowing to me of all the teams of people they've had over the years. But Van Pelt's freaking excellent.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I love when he covers golf.
Yeah.
You know who covered golf last weekend or this past weekend? Adam Schefter.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, do they want people to hate golf? Because he is one of the most least likable people, period.
And I'm like, okay, you're getting what crossover? Because it was opening. I don't know if it's Saturday morning. And there's a couple. There's some old. I won't say old, but like a guy that used to be on the PGA Tour that's real quick with the wit on like the ESPN when they've got like okay,
Kevin Kisner.
I love listening to him because he's not afraid to like go outside the box of like the normal golf banter, and it's like he can break the host. And then Fran Charles, I thought was on. Oh my god, him and was it Earl Hickman? Used to be on like the CNN Sports Tonight Show at like 10 o'clock. Their version of Sports Center. And those two were great. I love those two. And so to hear Fran Charles, I think that's who it is. Voice, I'm like, and then Jonathan Coachman, the old WWF announcer. So I'm like, I really don't care to hear him. I've heard him enough in wrestling, and he didn't do anything for me there. So I'd rather have some like Stuart Sink or somebody of that ilk like commentating. I'd rather hear somebody that has a little personality. It's all these other guys that just like talking. And yeah, you can be like a weekend golfer, but if you don't know what's going on, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, Kiz is one of the best, and he has a lot of funny sound clips. But there's an interview they did with him, and they were talking about the major championships and everything, and and he was just real honest about it. He goes, I know there's golf courses out there that I have no chance of winning on. He goes, I know I'm not going to compete with these guys at Bethpage Black. He goes, I don't, because he doesn't have the length. He can't compete with them. And the journalist asked him, well, why even show up? He goes, because they pay a lot of money to 25th.
Again, he's honest, and I like that because you usually hear everywhere it's the class of like, hey, what do you say in this situation? And it's all the same shit, no matter what sport. So
yeah, he keeps them on their toes because they don't know what he's going to say.
And that might be what
I wish it didn't have to be censored.
I know. They've got him on usually in the morning too, or up until about noon or 1, and then they swap out the coverage. I'm like, no, because then you get the fucking analytical guys. It's just like, oh.
And then I try to keep my list to like the ESPN Sports Center guys, because if you get into like Barry Melrose and all those guys that do the actual sporting events announcing, the list it just becomes freaking endless of great voices. Who I forgot as I was looking, Robin Roberts. I forgot she was on Sports Center. I was like, damn, that's right. I forgot all about that, because I can picture her in 1993 in a red. I could just see her in a red like suit and just commenting with Dan Patrick.
Who's the other one? Linda Cohn. That's who.
Yeah,
I loved Linda Cohn.
What you call it too? Susie Colbert.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And what was
I loved her almost as much as Joe Namath.
Yeah. What was the other redhead that was on? She did NBA all the time.
Rachel Nichols.
She was good too.
Yep.
I enjoyed her. She was no nonsense, really knew her stuff. I like when people, that's why sometimes it's almost the former sports people who come in that really know their stuff. And Gary Thorne is an excellent hockey announcer.
The hockey voice.
Yeah.
That is the guy that I don't care if it's like some Bantam tournament. If he's announcing it, I will listen.
Then I was like looking at some names, and I'm like, who the heck are these people? And the one that John Bucegros.
John Bucegros.
Would be.
And I'm like, I love that guy. I'm like, that's his name. Like, I never paid attention. I just like, he's excellent. Excellent.
Oh, that's one of my favorite. I think I don't even know if we had something on that about that, because that was the yo ding dong yo.
Yeah.
When somebody hits the pipe in hockey, he said that forever, and so anytime I hear a pipe or a pipe sound, or I'm watching hockey, I'll just involuntarily say that because it's been crushed into my skull.
And look at him in these pictures that like it's a cascade of when he was younger versus now with the beard. Like I remember him without the beard. Looking at him, I'm like, holy crap, that's the same dude. I'm like, I watched him for how many years and didn't realize that's the same freaking dude. I'm getting my honorable mentions out ahead of time there, Steve. I know you enjoy them so well.
That's not that. You just typically have like 50.
Yeah, I have several.
Depending on the subject matter. Sometimes you could have 150.
And growing up, it's like Michael said, you grew up on this. This was our thing. Like growing up, Sports Center, 11 o'clock every night. And my grandfather would say, what are you watching? I'm like, Sports Center's on. As soon as we're able to get cable, ESPN News. I went to bed every night. ESPN News was on. Because I guaranteed it would, if I woke up, it was guaranteed that it wasn't something I didn't want to see. So even now, I all night is either ESPN, soccer, something sports related. Drives my wife insane. But I can't stand the news because it's all crap. And then what you call it, Jimmy Fallon and that lunatic after him. I don't want to hear you've come completely political. Don't want to sit here and listen about politics at 11:30 at night. Screw that. You know, Johnny Carson and them guys used to do it. Leno, 2 minutes of it gone. These guys, it's all they talk about. I'm like, this isn't funny. I don't want to hear about this. I want you to make me laugh. Talk about something like, I don't know, just other than politics, for the love of God. And ESPN, they're not going to talk about politics usually. I got about a 90-10 ratio. So sports is the great distraction, as they say.
Had I made a list, Kenny Mayne would have been number one on mine.
Kenny Mayne. I love Kenny Mayne.
Yeah, I saw the comment there.
He was on my honorable mention list. He's just, yeah. All these guys are hitting their 60s, though, which is amazing because you don't feel like they're like Kenny Mayne's 65 years old. And to me, these guys are like, they live eternal in my brain as that guy on the TV screen from 20 years ago.
Or longer.
I was say 30 years.
But of course, that's the difference. Like being, 10, 11, 12 in your early teens and them in their, mid 30s or whatever.
And
unfortunately, people don't get younger.
Yeah. And I know there's guys I forgot.
No.
I know I could see guys. Bill Pito. There's another guy that just couldn't. I saw his face in my brain for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, Bill Pito. That's his name.
You saw his face.
The brain fog's clearing, guys. The cleanses are working. Yeah. Oh, Trey Wingo is another guy I just thought of. There's
Dr.
another
Trey.
dude.
Who?
Dr. Trey.
I just didn't hear what you had said, so that's why I didn't know if you were going off on your random tangent or something.
I'm being beckoned. Hold on, I gotta get my papers. So
I just wish Keith Olbermann hadn't gone crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because him and Dan Patrick,
They
were
were
so great they had a baseball insert set.
Yep.
And I loved it.
The big show.
Yep.
The World Edition.
Yep. I had the A-Rod special version. And back then, I mean, that was like a $50, $60 card. Now I think it's like $5, maybe. But at the time, the World Headquarters Edition, whenever I got it, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah, of course I do.
Now
I don't make lists.
Yeah,
No.
Now two of my favorites. I mean, they do podcasts and shows now.
Which would be
Rich Eisen, Dan Patrick. They both. I mean,
oh come on! Nobody's favorite is Mel Kiper. Come on.
Yeah,
him and Bill Polian. That's one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And I love when Ty Schmidt has his Mad Mel Kiper.
Oh,
and I love that. And I love that Mel Kiper says he likes it, but he doesn't. That's what it makes me even happier.
I'm not a big fan of, and I know we all aren't, of like that the bro type shit like that. But that for the draft is fucking what it needs. It doesn't need
Yes.
more. Again, in this day and age, You can see everything about the Michigan running back, the fucking Penn State
Yes.
quarterback, the text at the end. Everybody fucking knows because every goddamn college football show is about it, and it's ad nauseum. You can watch the SEC network, you can watch Big 12 network, you can watch all these fucking networks and see highlight shows, clip shows, whatever it is. That's the draft coverage I will watch every year, and I will not even be disappointed anymore. I can't watch the main NFL network, ESPN,
Yeah.
whatever. No. Give me the McAfee show on YouTube and
It's the best.
the Mad Mel
See-
type. He's fucking horse shit. He's horse shit. You hear that instead of, well, he's got some intangibles, but he's got to work on some stuff. No, I don't want to fucking hear that. That's not what you should be drafting. You should.
Yeah, watching Ty's meltdowns every year with the Packers draft picks is one of my favorite things. I mean, it hurts me just as much as it hurts him. I'm just glad he's on television expressing it in that way.
And
Yeah,
this
this was the-
you got the joy. You got excited. You got the what? Golden or whatever from
Yeah. Yep. Matthew
So
Golden. And whether or not Matthew Golden turns out to be anything,
you finally drafted somebody in the goddamn fucking first round.
exactly. And it was
Right.
somebody that everybody else was like, yes, that's the pick.
That everybody said that makes sense.
Yeah.
Asking for Jamal Reynolds or some bullshit. Being like, wow.
Or taking A.J. Dillon with a second round pick when that dude had less tread on his tires than fucking 8-year vets. He ran the ball so much in college at BC that it made no sense to draft him in the second round. He was like a 5th round rating. And Gutekunst is like second round. Because it feels like he just tries to be smarter than everybody. And it out of spite.
Yeah, you can hit on one of every 15. It's like, yeah, look at that pick. We have 12 receivers in the room, drafted 2 through 5, and one of them is worth something. And then the guy that you drafted in the 6th, the one year you didn't draft anyone till the 6th, because again, you're like the Temu version of Matt Millen. You need a receiver in every draft.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that one hit, but that one had the most production in college and was just too short to throw. But here he works because your offense isn't a deep ball like it used to be, predicated offense.
Yeah.
It's not with like Jordy, Cobb, Devontae. I mean, you don't have those burners. Every time you see Watson do it, he falls apart.
Yeah, every time he's running downfield, I'm like, oh man, something's gonna tear.
Yep.
And then it does.
Yeah, I can sit here and say this was the first year watching the first round of the draft. What was it? Was Prime doing it via like NFL channel? I think. I don't even remember who the hell was freaking hosting it on the streaming channel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so nice to not to hear Mel Kiper.
Oh,
It's the first year not having to deal with listening to freaking his shenanigans and everything else. It like I enjoyed it more just because I didn't have to listen to him in his fucking nonsense.
Usually what we do is have the living room. Meredith watches it on like ESPN and I'll watch it on NFL Network in the other room and like compare and contrast, because that's the one good thing about my wife. Everything but less the NBA draft, and we're usually watching it. Baseball, even the baseball has become, now that they cut out all the rounds, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, baseball is really cool because they invite the kids and their families there.
Yeah.
And you get to see that moment in the studio, and it's just really neat. And yeah, I like the baseball. Yeah. NBA draft, I've never watched one.
I used to watch it religiously every year in the 90s.
Oh God.
And then probably early 2000s, I'm like, these guys are just, I don't know, something changed about basketball. I love watching basketball, and it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Yeah, I had no interest in watching.
I tried to watch the WNBA on Saturday. Bob was like, or no, Ed was like, watch the Fever, and I'm like, I watched like 5 minutes of it. I'm like, I just can't. It's just like a regular NBA game. All these 3-pointers and shooting it from. There's no inside game anymore. There's people can't do simple layups. And it's just, wow, it's just different. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, because I couldn't even get into. I didn't even watch any of the NBA playoff games. The game is just so hard to watch.
Yeah, it doesn't compute to me. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
You know, another person, not an ESPN anchor per se for Sports Center, but Bob Lee for the Sunday morning
Sports
show.
reporters.
Sports reporters.
Every either coming from church or going to church, the sports reporters were on there.
Let's get going with our top 5 then, Vincenzo. We'll start with you. You're just spewing names like a fucking backed up sewer.
I got tons of them.
I noticed.
Top 5. That's why Dave said, let's go through top 5.
Okay.
Because again, I'm looking at the time, and I think at some point soon Ryan will be joining us. So,
Rich Eisen and Linda Cohen. Those are my 5. She's to this day, she's excellent, and Rich Eisen, I love Rich Eisen. So he's on NFL Network now, but that's my number 5.
He's coming back to ESPN.
Is he?
I do believe they purchased his show.
okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard that recently.
Honorable mention, Steve Levy. Next.
Michael.
You don't have a list, do you?
I didn't make a
You're
list.
on mute. I can't hear you.
I love Tim Kirchin.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another good one.
Him and his son have a really cool podcast. His son sounds exactly like him and looks like him. It's pretty off-putting. But no. Timmy Kirchin. That guy has more baseball knowledge than anybody ever.
I'll go my one honorable mention because none of you fuckers will remember him. He died in a pool in like '94. Tom Mees. Yes. Look it up, world. MEE.
I remember him. I remember him.
But since I'm doing more like the personalities, I'm not just doing straight Sports Center. I like him, or I like Sports Center, but a lot of ESPN shows and broadcasts were like you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Going with one that was newer. And by newer, I mean the last 22 years. Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, ETI. I can listen to those fuckers talk about anything ad nauseum. I still remember the first guest on the show was Charles Barkley, and that was gold. And so those two, again, a lot of those shows have been done, but that's one where they know how to flow off of each other. It's not just like screaming. Not Stephen A. Smith who needs to get hit by a fucking bus.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? The Skip Bayless. He needs to get hit by a meteor. I mean, all these dipshits that just scream and yell. It's unnecessary, and it's I don't know how people listen or get viewership. So anyway, Vincenzo, 4. You're on mute.
I'm getting there. Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick, to this day, he just epitomizes sports broadcasting. Love Dan Patrick. And I already said Charlie Steiner earlier, but those were my 2. Dan Patrick and Charlie Steiner.
Michael.
No, I'm not gonna say him because he'll probably be number one on most people's lists, and it's just kind of out of order. But like mentioned earlier, Kenny Mayne, he's the best. He's my favorite.
His humor
is so good, so dry, so deadpan and clever. His segments that he would do were just incredible. He had a really good one with Aaron Rodgers, I remember.
Yeah, his I almost, and that's not quite as funny, but I mean it's probably as dry as Norm McDonald. It just where there's no like real reaction, and then you get the people trying like buying into, is he really saying that? Is he really that slow, stupid, dumb? I mean, what?
Yeah.
And you just see nothing. You see nothing. Like, oh.
I want to believe that him and Norm were friends. I just want to imagine at some point those two ran into each other and they were good friends.
I hope so.
Yeah.
For me, number 4, and I go back further than Tim Kirkjian, but anytime you watched, and I watched this show, like Michael said for him, Baseball Tonight, whenever Diamond Notes was on with Peter Gammons, it was everybody shut the fuck up, I'm listening. Because it's not only going to be about like who's in the majors now, it's going to be somebody in AAA, maybe somebody slamming in AA. So I want to know what's going on, not just now, but maybe a year or two, maybe later this year, who knows? So him always doing it for Baseball Tonight, it's Peter Gammons, ESPN.
Yeah, I was going to say Peter Gammons, as long as it didn't involve the Boston Red Sox, because he was such a giant homer. It was awful. And it's the same with Bob Ryan. I like listening to Bob Ryan talk, as long as it's not about Boston sports.
As I say, that it'll be coming up, but I mean, there's going to be Bob Ryan will be included. So
yeah,
Vincenzo, number 3,
Chris Berman.
Yep.
When you ESPN synonymous, Berman. He's like when you think of the sphere of ESPN, if Berman isn't one of the first guys to come to your head, well, rumbling, stumbling, back. I mean, they're countless. It just he is ESPN.
Michael.
The man who gave us the greatest ESPN commercial of all time, John Clayton. John Clayton. Love that guy.
For the Pantera Slayer.
Oh, it was
Mom! Meatloaf!
Yeah, he was eating, I think he was eating spaghetti or I can't, he was eating pasta. Maybe he was eating Chinese food. Yeah. Yeah. Ma, my segment's done or something like that. Yeah.
He was born in Braddock, Pennsylvania. No kidding.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah. I didn't know he passed away 2022. Judas Priest.
Chop. Ryan's in the lobby. Chop, Dave.
The sports reporters. That was Dick Schaap, Bob Ryan, Jackie Mack, all the people that were on, like Tony Reali's deal. A lot of those old reporters on there. Again, Mitch Albom before he had like the walk with whatever and
Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah, I mean all that was just stuff you like to listen to old people talk, and that's what I like to do. It seems.
That's not chop.
You know what, Steve? Maybe be quiet.
Hey, Michael, how about you fuck off?
I'm not gonna. We're having a good conversation.
Yes, but I'm trying not to keep Ryan waiting.
Number 2, Vincenzo.
Oberman and Kilborn.
No.
Michael.
Yeah.
Pass for Steve's sake.
You don't have to pass. You can still throw out names. I'm just trying to keep the commentary down.
John Miller, Joe Morgan. Sunday Night Baseball.
Yep.
Especially John Miller. Joe Morgan, John Miller's voice, cool. Number 1, Vincenzo.
Stuart Scott and John Anderson. No, but Stuart was just quintessential human being.
Yep.
That's
Mike.
the one that always comes to mind, is Stuart Scott.
The cold, like the other side of the pillow, is just,
It's the voice, though, too.
yeah.
Mike.
Oh, I always enjoyed Max Kelberman.
See, some of these guys, I like, as I alluded to before, I used to just kind of watch more for the highlights, the scores, that type of stuff. I didn't really pay attention to a lot of the people. So some of these people I'm sure I've seen them,
Oh, yeah. I mean, if
but
you see him
who they are, it's like, I've never heard that name.
Number 1, no Paul McGuire, because he just didn't add much. ESPN, Sunday Night Football, Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann. I love Mike Patrick. He was great when he got excited. Holy cow! I mean, he would and not like the Harry Carey. It was just like, he is legit, like, probably want to say holy shit, but it was great. I still remember Chargers 96 against the Patriots. Bledsoe was absolutely tearing apart. And he said, holy cow, Bledsoe's throwing bullets! And that was the one where Stan Humphries got, like, knocked literally the fuck out. I mean, go back, look up Stan Humphries' concussion. And I think that was one of the placeholders a couple of years ago, him, like, getting up.
Could have been.
I mean, you're asking him what the alphabet is, and he's saying, potatoes are fun. He don't fucking know what day it is or what year he's in.
I have a bird. His name is Ronnie.
That might be even too great for him. It's brutal. So those guys, and again, there's so many others. Steiner would be up there too. That's probably like 1A, because him laughing after Carl Lewis during the national anthem, he can literally, I mean, he's pissing. I think I sent that an Instagram thing the other day because that thing popped up. And he's just sitting there trying to do something with his ear, trying not to laugh. That was like a technique he knew. But he is literally about to piss himself. And then Edwards, I don't remember which Edwards, if it's Steve Edwards, is like this co-anchor, just like put his head down like you do in school. Because you heard somebody fart and you don't want to get in trouble because you're laughing. And he's just like dying over that. Because he's like, Francis Scott off key, and then he just. So, with all that being said, and again, we can talk about that for another hour. That's again our childhood and all that bullshit.
A name
But
that came to
childhood, speaking of a child that's in a grown man's body, and again, he likes Randy Orton, so that always just is a disturbing and disruptive topic starter. Not the YouTube Hall of Fame, folks, but without further ado, our good friend, your good friend, Ryan Bannister.
Hola, what up, boys? Thank you for the introduction. I'm actually wearing my Seth Rollins shirt today, so sorry to disappoint.
Well, it's not the first time.
Yeah, I know, but how's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Exhausted. I was in the heat all day, getting stuff out of our units that we have and getting the product finally under one roof. But I am here, and Neil was going to make it in about 5 minutes left. He said he wasn't feeling good, so he went to bed. AKA, it's past his bedtime, so we have no Neil.
It's all right. he's usually the bonus if he can get on. Because I know he doesn't like doing a lot of this stuff, and if everything's right, he'll come on. But if there's,
I sent him a reminder text about 9. Said I should be on about 15 minutes, and he said, "Perfect, thanks for reminding me." 9:22. I was gonna try to do the podcast, but I'm not feeling so good. I'm gonna go to bed. Sorry, man. I'm like, AK, he's old.
well, and two, I know you guys are fucking grinding away because what's coming up this weekend?
Yep, we got something this weekend, something on Saturday.
Why don't you discuss with the good folks what's going on? Because the last time we talked, and I mean it was alluded to, and then I think when we were on last, it was like, okay, you can sort of spill the beans of new place, new venue, new area. Things had to go a little this way, that way, and it finally came through. And so this Saturday.
The Saturday is our official grand opening. Sorry, I didn't know if you were done or not. So, yeah, so we've already reopened. We had a soft reopen at the beginning of June for moving the one shop to another. How we got this all done in a week, it wasn't on us. Was we started moving in on a Tuesday, and we had 1 week to get open. Problem was Monday was a holiday, so no contractors were there. Tuesday, no contractors were there. We had going into Wednesday, we're like, we're screwed. Not by us. They're not gonna. We're not gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna text them. Apparently, I'm being too loud. My kid above me. So yeah, sorry. Try not to be so loud to wake my kid. So
I was like, wait a minute, Dave. Why are you texting Ryan saying he's too loud?
I got on my computer. I'm gonna have to relocate to downstairs if he continues to say that to mommy. So basically, we did not honestly think about a week out we were going to be able to open. It was scary, and then all of a sudden the contracting company promised us that everybody and their mother would be there Wednesday working, doing their part, and sure enough, they got there. They got things rolling. I mean, we took something that looked like it wasn't going to be ready to by Thursday. We were setting up the cases. We did not pass our fire inspection on Friday because of like 3 minor things that wasn't to do with us. It was the contractors. Luckily, they came back Monday, passed us, and we found out literally going the weekend. We're like, we should be fine, but there's a chance we may have to promote we can't open Tuesday because we haven't passed inspection. But luckily, we did. We were able to reopen that Tuesday. It was the longest week of my life. Like, it's going to make the National look like a breeze. Let's just put it that way. John Yates literally says he was telling me today, he's like, the National is going to be so easy. He goes, but because of this move, I will never volunteer and help anybody else in my life to move because of what this move did to his body. So it was exhausting. It was a long week. The first day, Tuesday, we moved for 13 hours because we had to get out of our one unit with all the racking so the company could come get it and take it down there and install. So that was a long first day, but it got easier as it went on. But wouldn't be where we were without the amazing team we have. Everybody stepped up. It was an all-around effort. We had friends coming to help out as well. So basically we got to open. So we had our soft reopen. This is week 4. Technically we're open, I think. Week 4. And we're having the official grand opening this Saturday, June 28th. A lot of things in the works. Going to open at 10 o'clock. There's still things that we're going to be announcing throughout the week, but the first thing was we're going to be open 10 to 5 and then dive right into our first official trade nights at the new shop from 5 to 8, which we have not done a trade night, I guess, for quite some time. When Michael, you guys all remember, we were known for doing trade nights every 2 months, and it was like clockwork. We outgrew that first shop, and the second shop, COVID hit, kind of changed everything. We just never really got back on the trajectory. Plus, I had a third kid in the mix, and it just didn't really work as much. And then we realized the problem we had was we had grew so much in the community, we just couldn't get everybody in there. And we were like, the one trade night, we tried to do a summer one year. Of course, tornadoes drop. I'm sure Dave is watching them. He probably remembers that night. He's meteorologist Dave Archer for us right here, but he does look out for me and keeps an eye on us at all times. But yeah, so we just, after that, we're just not destined to have trade nights here. But now with the new shop, the event space that we have, all the space for everybody, it's just a true game changer. So we're excited to have this grand opening. We're excited about our first trade night, and we're excited about the things that are going to happen at this grand opening. But yeah, just it's been a long month, I guess is what you'd say. And I moved 1 week, and then I was working, I think, 14 days straight, and then I finally went on a family vacation we had planned, and then came back, and then Neil was on his family vacation last week. So this week we're finally full strength, but we're trying to get we started getting stuff out of our 1 unit location we have last week, and then we did it today, but I thought we were going to finish today. The weather, it's so hot here. Michael, you can relay. It's miserably hot right now. So it took a lot out of us to get it done, but we're almost done. We got one more thing to get on Thursday, and then we'll have everything officially under one roof, which is exciting. Like, you have no idea how game changer it's going to be for us.
Yeah. How much did Tyson help?
So Tyson actually had his scheduled vacation that week. So Tyson did not do any physical labor. He really can't with his back, but he did come in on some of his days and help with the electronics, getting all that stuff set up, just getting us TV set up, just back end stuff like that. So it was a help there. But as far as the physical labor, he had that week scratched out for 6 months to go on a family trip that fell through, and he just said, "Do you care if I just keep it scheduled?" And I said, "Sure." And then we realized we're moving, but I know he can only do so much with his back from the accident he had in Cleveland. He's using, back pain. But speaking of Tyson, we got some news. I'm sure you're going to have us. Are we going to do one more before the National? Like you guys usually have us. Okay. Real quick, Tyson is returning to the National. He is going to be working for us at the National. This was all done on Friday. Spoiler alert, it'll be figured out in time. Dave, Mr. 101, is no longer with us. He was let go on Friday, and Tyson is now taking the spot in National. And then Brandon Tolley, who's the referee, is going to be our full-time breaker Wednesday and Fridays, and then our mats will stay on Sundays. So some changes lately. We rehired Craig. He used to work full-time for us. He lasted about 8 months first go, and then he's in a better spot in life. And he came in during our grand opening week and basically said he just quit his job and was looking for a job. So I think I hear kids. I might have to move. So sorry. So yeah. So Tyson is returning, which is exciting. So I know he's very excited to come to the National. I know he hasn't been in years. I don't know how many. Are any of you guys going to the National? No.
Nope.
That's all knows. Maybe next year. So, but yeah. Sorry, I hear kids. I don't know if I have to go to my basement in my dungeon now, if I'm being too loud. So yeah, no, that's in a nutshell. Like I said, the big grand opening is Saturday. We announced yesterday Leaf is made us custom Albert Pujols and Molina cards. We're giving out one of those to every person. They're all serial numbered. 500 people receive those. Inside, we'll get like a Leaf proof pack with it, and then we just had some new custom stickers made. So it'll be like a team bag that we hand out, and then we have a bounty for the 101s. If you get the gold, you get 250 score credits, so it's 500 between the two. And then if you get the super prismatic gold, you get 500, so it's 1,000. So it's $1,500 in bounties, and you get to keep the cards. On top of it, Leaf sent us several boxes to give away. The president of Leaf will be in attendance on Saturday, which is awesome. And then one of our other distributors, Peach, gave us like $1,000 credit to go buy a bunch of product in their in-stock list. And then we went on there and bought some stuff yesterday. And then I spent a little more on top of it. So we're giving away a lot of product throughout the day and night. We're going to do every $50 spent on anything in the shop, you get a ticket. And then we're going to draw the winners at 7:30 that night. We'll be doing random pack words out of nowhere. We'll have prizes. We'll be just giving stuff out free all day and night. And then we're going to do half off our bargain boxes for the day. And then we're debating what we're doing on the case card jet. We're going to have a special case, a grand opening case of cards that Tyson has bought lately that are $100 to $1,000 that will be in this case and available only at our grand opening for just that one day. It's stuff that I will be taking to Nationals as well. but we want to do some other special things. So we're going to be announcing that more. Plus, new RBICRU7 shirts will be in stock, so we'll have those available in shop, which we're excited about. Things are in motion. Look at that one. That's some NCWO right there. That was 2 years ago. I think that was 2 years ago.
First national.
That was 3. Oh, was that 2 years ago we did that? Or was 3? I can't remember.
23.
23. Okay, so 2 years ago. So we'll have new NCWO shirts in a month, which is also exciting. But make sure I'm not getting a text because he apparently went in and told my wife, "Daddy's too loud." So, so yeah, I'm just under his room. Normally he's in bed by now, but he's growing. So, but yeah,
it's crazy. I came to the grand opening of the leather shop.
Yes, you did.
And I never made it back. That was the only time I was ever in the shop.
Are we talking the second shop, right?
Yes. Yeah, the second shop.
So I thought, yeah, the second shop. And then you obviously went to the first one many times. And then
yes,
Dave.
I was at that one a bunch.
Dave, you've been to both shops.
Yep.
Yep, you were there to both of them. So, yeah, it's crazy to where we went from where we started to where we are now. I knew last time I was on here, it was that when I told you guys privately that we were building a building. Was that the last time I was on? Okay, I thought it was.
We were sort of waiting for like the jeweler person that had like the other space to whatever that was going to come of that, so you can knock walls and make the space bigger.
Yeah, that was she basically got me for 2 months free rent, but she was barely there. She wasn't even open. She eventually said she was out by like the second week of December, but she wasn't even there, which stunk because my contractors couldn't start till January. And then during the process, let's be honest, if those 2 months would have changed everything, those things called tariffs kicked in while we were doing a lot of things. So a lot of things that I ordered, racking and everything like that, went up tremendously in those 2 months that if I would have got those back. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. We're in the dream spot. We're in our home. This is home. This is our forever home until we decide one day to not do it anymore, or I pass it down to my kids. Don't know where life's going to take it. But I mean, doing all this moving on me and everybody, it's just like I'm telling people like, oh, until you get a bigger location. I look at everybody, I said, if I ever have to do this again, I'm just selling and I'm done. I'm never moving again. Like we've gone from 1,000 square feet to 1,400 to 1,400 square feet units to 2,800 to other location with stuff in it. We're now under an 8,300 square foot facility with everything in there with taller ceilings, 12-foot ceilings, so our racking can go decent size in the warehouse. So I mean, we've got our warehouse is over 3,000 square feet, and it's massive. If you guys ever get to come to it, I'll be happy to give you a tour. It's not something I'm not gonna publicly put out there, but my good friend Chase and Michael may know this. Who owns Dugout Sports Cards. Mm-hmm. Him and his wife from Columbia, very good friends of ours. He called me yesterday. He said, "Hey, Renee and I are kind of taking a couple weeks off. We want to come see the new store. Do you mind if we come out tomorrow?" Not at all, man. I'd love to see it. They actually inspired us. Their new store gave us, my wife and I, some inspiration on what to do there. And him and I have been good friends for a long time. He came out and he was just like blown away, but he was more blown away. He's like, that warehouse there is just like a dream for a card shop owner. And that's what even like Chad Sports Card Junction's like, I'm so jealous you have that. I'm like, that's the thing people don't see, but I know the staff. It's just things are so much better right now. We have a whole shipping station area for just a computer with all our stuff with an area. We finally evolved, instead of packing peanuts being in the bags, we got like a little thing that you open up and the peanuts come down because they're hanging from the thing. And I mean, if you guys ever get to come, I'd be happy to give it a tour. It's just, like I said, something I'm not going to publicize, but back there, we have the break room. We have our office where me, Matt, and Neil share a massive office. And then we have another side table that I was like, oh, I'll just put here if anybody wants to do it. Well, it's been piled up with cards that the guys keep buying, and that's just one section of it. My desk is already a mess, and we're not even the weekend. It's just everything. I got a mess around my office. I got to clean it up because I got to, give tours this weekend. And then we have our own private bathroom, and then we have an actual break room where people with a big fridge in there, microwave, people have a table in there. it's the vibe, the environment is everybody is just so thrilled to be there. It's got that new feel. Customers are coming in, and just like the video, everything they say is the videos don't do justice of how much bigger the shop feel is when you come in here, how much bigger it is, and people now are staying what we wanted. They're hanging out in the event space, ripping cards. The people who want to dig in bargain boxes are going to those two big tables, and that's for those people. So it's like we segregated the people who want to rip and the people who want to dig in bargain boxes, and they feel comfortable in their areas. It's just been massively huge. Plus, the way we have all the wax on the walls separated, we have nothing stacked anymore unless it's the same product. We've got everything spread to grow, and it's just everything. The cases, we have so many cases of singles now where people can see our singles sales are way up, because now it's like, instead of, can I see that stack? Can I see that box? Whatever. Oh, I can see what I want right here. You know, we're making a lot of changes, and it's going to take time. We know this. You know, right now was step 1 was getting open. Step 2 is getting everything organized. Step 3 was getting out of other unit, which we're getting out of. And then step 4, grand opening. Well, then after grand opening, you know, I'm taking a little 4-day trip with my family to Arkansas with our neighbors for 4th of July. Step 5 is I got to start getting ready for national. You know, I've got to start prepping. We bought so much lately. I've been hoarding so much. And I've got, from that trip to national week, you know, obviously John comes in the week prior. He'll come in and come in Sunday and work Monday through Friday with me, go back home 3 hours away, come right back Sunday night, we leave Monday. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. And then after my goal, my vision, my visionary here, Seth Rollins, able to get that, is to, by the fall before Holiday Mania, launch our old school section of all this old school product that I've been hoarding 4 years and still buying. And we're talking 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, football, everything, you name it. I've been hoarding this stuff and just sitting on it. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey.
You have my attention.
You guys,
when he's about to jump out of it.
the best part is all this will also be available on the website. But it is a project. When I say a project, this is Neil's got to create listing SKUs for every one of these items on top of it with it as a pack. It's got to be SKU. The cool thing is packs in the 80s actually had SKUs on them. Obviously, SKUs were a big deal. So we're going to have so many elements, even offering cheaper packs. We've got a variety of everything. Well, sorry, I'm making sure she isn't texting. Okay, she hasn't said anything else. We're good. I don't know if he's asleep or not. So, but you guys wait till you see this. We have been, I mean, all the stuff I've bought in for the past 5 years has been thrown there. I've got packs of football cards from 2000 sealed. I've got 2005 football sealed. I've got 04 baseball with Yadier Molina rookies. I've got, you name it. We've been just sitting on this stuff. I bought and bought and bought sealed boxes, sealed. I bought, I don't know if you guys saw lately, I bought a couple months ago an 01 Fleer Greats of the Game hobby case baseball, which is just, and then it was 01 Upper Deck Hall of Famers baseball case. My buddy had chained both of them. And I paid strong on them, but I'm like, you just don't see these. And to me, I would love to just sit there and rip them. I really want to, like, so bad, because I love ripping that old school stuff. But I want them for what we're going to do. I'm not going to sell them on a case. I want to sell those by the box. I want to have this stuff. So again, I've been telling customers it's coming. Be patient. And I know a lot of people are like, when's this old school section going to come? I'm like, it is a process. I promise you, my goal after the national is to get it all together and start working on it. Neil creates SKUs. I start creating price, because a lot of this stuff, you can't find it. So how do you price it, you know? That's going to be my biggest challenge, but I'm excited. It's just a matter of, that is another thing on my list to do, but I've got to get it accomplished from the moment the national ends and probably right before November, because once November hits, I got to prep for Holiday Mania, which I know you all take advantage of as well. And we've talked about that. So I've got a window of things, and I'm always the wheel always turning in here. And I think that's why we are to where we are today, is because we're always thinking of what we could do differently, better, growing, and ideas. And I think that's the one thing we're lacking, is that old school opportunity of, hey, I'm a collector of this. I don't really like the new stuff, but I would love to rip 2004 football and try to pull Big Ben or Eli, stuff like that, which we have that stuff. So I know a lot of you guys love that old school football. We all do. And
when it was reasonable.
yeah, when it was reasonable. I mean, that's the problem now. If you find it, who knows? Like, I think what I buy it this deal. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it's still reasonable considering the age and the rookie. Like, I'm not trying to say that, okay, yeah, you can find something, let's say for $400, you're going to be charging $1,000. Like, you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're going to try and make it reasonable, but ensuring that, like, you're not pricing yourself too cheap either, because there's
you can't
times
replace this.
No, because I've gone back and looked at old stuff just to see, because it's like, man, I really enjoyed opening that. And then you go look at the price point, like, yeah, no.
Yeah, like I used to rent those at $70 a box. Now they're $500. Yeah, I'm out because of Tom Brady. I mean, a lot of that football is hindered on Tom Brady of what could be in there of him. And, obviously rookie classes, 98 was a big one. I love ripping 98 football. It's one of my favorite years to rip. But I've got a ton. I don't know if I'm going to move any of it yet, but I have several 03 or 4 basketball boxes in my LeBron collection that I might make available, some of them available in our old school section. Just, I think those would grab eye candy. And I mean, long story short, I've moved a lot of my LeBrons to obtain this building, which was more important to me. And I've still kept the ones I wanted, but moving some of the old school wax, I mean, to be honest, it just sits in the tub collecting dust. So it's like, I might as well let somebody else enjoy it when I just have it there. I don't even know what's in that tub, to be honest with you. I've got 2018. I remember I bought these a long time ago. Dollar Tree had these, I think. 2018 Topps Update jumbo baseball packs, like the jumbo hanger ones with Ohtani. And so I think I got it for like $2 a pack. And I looked there and I think like $200 a pack, and I had like 50 of them. And I'm like,
crazy.
I probably should make those available at that time. I don't even know how many are in this little thing I have. So, but again, it's just over the years, I stash product. I stash product all the time. I actually just sold, I put back a case of 23 Bowman Draft baseball jumbo and super jumbo, and my good friend who is with Card Vault by Tom Brady, I'm sure you guys have heard of that. At this point, he hit me up, and his name's Chris, really good friend, been friends for years, and he said, hey, what's the chances you have a 23 Bowman Draft jumbo case? And I said, I may have one in my stash. He knows I stash. And he's like, what would you want for it? And then I said, let me look. I go, I guess, are you going to be ripping at Paul Skeens? He's like, well, no, Brady's got those autos. We're still trying to find his inscription one. I'm like, oh, he's like, I'm ripping with Brady and Gronk. I'm like, okay, well, I kind of got to sell you this case now just because it's from us. So they bought that. I gave him a very fair deal. I mean, he would have paid more anywhere else, but we're good friends, and he would look out for me, I look out for him. But it was just cool to hear that, knowing that case was going to them. I think Brady was ripping 1 or 2 boxes for content. They said the rest were going to go in their stores, obviously, trying to chase Brady's Expos autograph card. So just, it's cool to have that stuff to where, and I told him, I said, I know you're big on UFC. I've got every Panini case ever made. If you ever need anything, just let me know, because I know they do it a lot with UFC. So I stash one case of everything I think that is worth stashing. And sometimes, obviously, I'm sitting on a ton of 2019-20 basketball. Zion has not become anything, let's be honest. And but I've got some other good years that I sit on as well. And again, I'm excited to do that. That is my fun project that I will share with you guys. And I know I'm jumping ahead, but I've got a lot of ideas, and I think it's going to be awesome for everybody.
Any 2000 contenders left, or is the one box that you opened the only one?
That was the only. I remember opening that for Luke. No, I had an opportunity to get so many of those back in. I remember going to some mall show. I think it was in Springfield, Missouri, maybe, or somewhere else.
At Battlefield Mall.
I don't know if it was that one. It was somewhere. I don't know if it was the Battlefield. It was somewhere. I don't know if it was Springfield. It might have been, actually. This guy used to come and do the shows from Oklahoma, and he had 20 to 30 boxes of 2000 contenders football. And at the time, they were like, I don't know, 400 a box, and that was like crazy back then. I mean, what are they worth now exactly? It might have been 450 for all I know, but I haven't ripped one of those in years since I did that video. So yeah, it's I do have some 2000 football. I acquired 2000 certified football sealed boxes, which has Brady in it. I have several 2000 football packs put back. I might have a couple other boxes. I don't know. At this point, I just keep buying, accumulating, and just throwing it in this area. And I'm just excited to organize it and go through and say, yeah, I have real problems. I didn't know I bought all this over the past 10 years or whatever it is.
The crazy thing is, and I've mentioned this before, I probably opened 4 or 5 boxes of 2000 contenders back when they were $100 a box, because that's what they were at release. And of course, you were chasing Mike Anderson and Jamal Lewis
and Brian Urlacher
Burr, Classical Burst, Sean Alexander, like the big name guys.
Pennington,
and Chris Redman.
Yep. But with you would think that Brady being a lower tiered guy, because that's typically what you pulled, was your lower tiered guys.
Correct.
You would have thought out of 4 or 5 boxes, I should have pulled one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. Never happened. Never happened.
I mean, that's the thing. He was all over that product and they were live. So that's why they do crazy money, is because there is still Brady sitting in those boxes. I had 1 contenders. I had a PSA 7 to 9 autograph. I'd moved while getting this building. Obviously, moved a lot of assets, but lost my butt on it. Bought it 2 years ago during craziness and said I wanted one to match my Manning. I still have a Manning contenders, 1 or 2. I have the one I love, the 8.5/10. I said I won't move my Manning or my Moss, but I moved my Brady because, like you said, the Brady's he was common. They're out there. I can always get another one. And I'm a 10 auto guy, so I know a PSA is great to have those grades, but I'd rather have a 10 autograph Beckett or whatever versus a 9 auto. I think we're all in that same boat as far as that goes. So,
well, yeah, your freaking 98 contenders autos, you don't see them very often, and if you do, they're not always in the best condition because the autographs fade.
That was the first year they ever did it, and they didn't. It was a trial by error thing, and I'm lucky to have the Manning I have. That's immaculate with the autograph wise, and I still have a great Moss that I got years ago. So to me, those are 2 I just, as the collector, I won't move. I kept 1 Pujols Bowman Chromo, 1 at one point I had 5. I moved all but 1. I kept the best one, in my opinion, and those are just collector cards to me. Growing up as a kid, the dream cards that I wanted. So those, to me, are things I can't replace. Well, I could, but I don't want to replace. And if I sold it, I'd be going to get another one. It's like, what's the point? I have the ones I like the most. So, yeah.
Well, and if you really want to, it's not like you can't go and get it again anyways if you really want to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but the ones I have stories behind them, have memories behind them.
Understood.
And that's one of the Moss I got was from a friend who had passed away. He was older, but he knew me since I was a kid flinging cards. And he used to buy Jerry Porter cards for me, the Raiders guy back in 2000. You guys remember him. He's a huge Raiders fan. He had passed away during COVID, unfortunately, but he moved me that Moss. And that to me, it was my dream card. I got my dream card, and I've owned other ones since, but none of as good autos this. And again, remembering that, I remember who I bought the Manning from. I think I remember where I got the bills from. I think it might have been from Indie Card Exchange, where I got that one from somebody else. But those are things that I think I cherish more, is just the memory of how I obtained it, and it was just. You get so excited to finally get that card. You guys know how it feels. Like you've been tracking down that card, and you just, you can't get that feeling back if you go and get rid of it and get another one. It's just not the same feeling.
Yep.
So
100%. Well, it is on my bucket list to make it out there sooner than later.
Well, we're not going anywhere on this one, so you could take time. This one, not moving again. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am still exhausted a month later, and today was very exhausting with the heat. And I'm glad we're almost done. We're down to we're rounding third base. We got one more run to get in our transit, and I'm excited just to be done. It's exhausting, and I thought my vision was we were going to get this all out first day. Like we're going to clear out the one unit, we're going to get all these done, and man, was I an idiot. Like John looked at me when I told him that in the morning of Tuesday. He's like, buddy, we're going to be lucky to get everything out of this one unit. I'm like, we could do this. We got 10 guys. I'm like, no, because I didn't get a U-Haul. We did because the problem is when we moved, we have everything organized in a system in our bays, and they're by sport, by year, and everything. And when you move, you can't just go. It's not like moving a house. You just grab a box and go. This is all strategically got to be done. It's got to be inventory. It's got to be re-put up. So the problem we had is our contractors, the guys who were supposed to lay the base trim, which was just in our warehouse, little just basic black base trim, put glue up. We said, start on this end over here because our racking company is installing the new racks over here and you guys can finish over there. Well, they started on the other end. So the racking company had to come in and do all their new racking on the other end where we didn't want it to start. So then we had to wait for our old racking to go into the spot where we wanted to start working this stuff up. So then we were bringing stuff over, getting it unloaded, and then it would have to be put up. And then the worst part is everything had to be re-ran up because it wasn't done the way I was visioning it to be done. And nothing goes as planned, but in a nutshell, it's just a process of doing all that. And I didn't want to get a U-Haul because I was like, I don't want too much to go on here. And then we're dealing with so much. Plus, it was only a 6-minute drive. So our transit would fit a ton. And it took us, we started moving Tuesday. We had everything out by Friday that week. And it took a team effort. Now, Friday wasn't as much left, but man, it was weird. It was a weird feeling in that shop. Once we got everything out of there, it felt like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like being in that home scene where you got robbed and you could hear an echo in the room. It just did not feel like the shop it was there. It just felt so weird and different, but it was a bittersweet. But I think I had similar feeling when I left Fortune. I was excited for the next chapter. I know everybody was excited because what we could do at this new place and being all in one roof. Neil has not been in office with me Neil was with me forever. And once Adam left last summer, he had took on that role 2 doors down. Neil was basically by himself unless it was break days or whatever. So to be in the same office now is exciting for Neil, but he gets to hear my singing, which I'm not the best singer. And I like to just scream random rock songs. And Michael, I know you like a lot of rock, so you probably.
Oh yeah.
So I always play. I got Alexa, and they literally don't. They have no say what gets played song wise. It is whatever I put on, and that's what they tolerate. It's just how it goes. But it's good. It's good to be, instead of a walkie-talkie or a phone call, you just have chats and you just talk about things. And it's been a stressful month for everybody. It's exciting at the same time, but it's just adjustments. We're all making adjustments, and things are changing, but we're trying to make these great changes to grow this. And we have seen such a growth in our first 3 weeks as far as not just sales, but the amount of transactions, the amount of people in there, especially on the weekend. Today, at one point I walked out. You guys saw my story video. I just walked out and Tyson literally has got 5 kids and a mom there, and he's just educating them at his buying station. And he's just like, that was not something he could do at the other place. Literally, he was at the one table. It's so inviting now. And I just overheard him, and he's like, okay, so this card's with this, and this is what you do if you want to grade something like this. This is what, and he was just literally taking the time to educate these kids, and these kids were just locked in. Like, we're here, we're loving this, taking it in. And it's just, the atmosphere is so much different now. And I think it's got that new feel, but I think it's so inviting now. And I don't know. If you guys, once you see it in person, if you all can eventually make it, I think you'll understand. I think, again, the videos, you all have seen it, just in what we hear is it doesn't do justice. And we're just excited of the things that we can do within the community. I was telling my one buddy today, I mean, it's unbelievable how much community we've grown over the past 5 years. We went to, after just being physically exhausted second round, we went to 7-3 Brew, and I was like, I'm getting one of these drinks I haven't had in like 2 months because I stopped drinking energy drinks, but it's like a quench thirster. It's not too much energy. And I'm like, I have to get this. And it's 5 minutes from my store. And the girl, they chat with you there. And the girl's like, oh, so what are you guys doing the rest of the day? I was like, we're unloading all this crap behind me in our transit, like right there. And she's like, what is that? I go, baseball cards. She goes, oh, my boyfriend goes to a shop. Is your shop IG7? And we're like, oh, it's RBICRU7. She's like, literally, he was there the other day. He loves your shop. It's like the greatest shop ever. He was there for 45 minutes, and I thought he was hidden. And it's crazy, that community that's out here that know us. And remember, we were in Florissant for 8 years. We were only in St. Peter's for 5, and O'Fallon is literally the next town over. It's like so close. So it's crazy to see how much we grew. And I know the hobby's grown drastically. We all seen the hobby grow insanely in our time doing this. I mean, we've been doing this for so long, and we remember how we go to national, what 10, 12 years ago, and it would be dead. I remember the 2014 national in Cleveland. It was just dead, hang on. Sorry. All right.
Remember your first one in 11, we had that group picture. It's like you had all those people around, and you didn't have like people trying to push past you or trying to get by. It was we basically post up at your table or your booth, and we were there how many times during that weekend? So,
all right, I'm gonna have to move. My kid's going to complain. Give me a second. Sorry.
no,
Give me a minute. How do I pause this?
Should be right on there, right under the video, right under your video screen. Should be like mic and cam. Hit the mic.
Okay, stop cam. All right, give me a minute.
Yeah, I remember that vividly because again, that's like when all the guys from YouTube were there, and it was huge because Ryan, Neil, and the guys were all there. It's like you finally made it. That's huge. So I saw a meeting there. It was awesome. But yeah, it is now where, good Lord, you try to cross even just like a mile away. Simply trying to go across what the 405 in LA is, where you can put your life in your own hands. So yeah, the hobby doing what it's been doing is good. At the same time, a lot of infiltration of wonderful people.
Yeah, I remember the first one I went to was in 13. Went 13, 15, and I mean, you can walk around and move freely. Didn't even have to say excuse me or bump into anybody.
There wasn't anybody to bump into.
No. Yep. Now it's herded cattle and smells worse.
Oh. Yeah, that 2 years ago, trying to look through like the value boxes, that was the thing I think it would have been 9 in Cleveland. That was great. Because I've told the story, the one guy had like box or table this way, table up into a corner or up into like a groove, back down. He had a ton of tables to go through. Mm-hmm. And I was there for, I bet you, an hour and 15 minutes looking. Because some other customer actually came up there, like looking around, like, oh, you find anything good? And I've got a stack like that. I'm like, there's some stuff. So, but yeah, trying to look at anything. It was just, again, it sucks because I'm not a big people person, but when you have that many people and you're just trying to look through cards and you have to sit there and smush and you're trying to like sift through value boxes and you got people your size or bigger, and I'm not a small person. When they're squishing against me, I mean, that's not a position I want to be in ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to go back to you guys starting out, and the YouTube community was pretty much all there.
Yeah,
that could be there. Like we were taking pictures and talking, BSing, and not having to like sit there and like, oh, we have to go shift over to the back wall area or whatever. It was just like we could stay there, and there were people, but it wasn't like the throngs of the crowds that are rolling through there now. That's just it's great. It's great for you guys in business. great for the hobby, but it is a mentally taxing situation if you're not fans of ignorance and just dipshittery.
Yeah, that's a way to sum it up. I mean, it's honestly an exhausting week for us, and being behind the table. I mean, not going out there. I mean, dude, just to take a bathroom break is almost impossible now. Like we have to I have to usually go sit in somebody else's booth to eat my lunch because it's just so many people. Like I have to tell my guys like step away, step away, hide, go do whatever, go to the bathroom. Like if you don't we have to go in shifts because it's just so busy the whole time. I mean, I look forward to that week, but every year it gets harder and harder on me mentally, physically. I mean, I'm getting older. I'm not getting any younger, but I mean, we're very grateful and blessed. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it's changed so much in great ways. I mean, it has, but then again, it was nice when it was low key, but I mean, I set up at the show because obviously, yes, I was there to make money, but did because I loved it. I mean, I'd go there and I'd spend all day and night and I'd go hang out with everybody every night and do stuff. But I mean, honestly, man, like now it's like we get there and we do that all day. It's like I have to go to a dinner or I do a host a dinner or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm done. I want to go back to the hotel. I don't want to go to a trade night. It's just nothing against it. I'm just too old for it, but it's just like, it's not that I'm too old. It's the day is just so hard on you and everybody is just mentally done every night. And the guys are just like ready to go eat and then go to bed, and then get up and do it tomorrow. Rinse, repeat, whatever you call it, eat, sleep, repeat it, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Whatever. It's just what it is that week.
Flip, repeat.
What's that?
Eat, sleep, flip, repeat.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, but no, I mean, it's changed. The hobby's changed so much and it's grown so much. And I was just watching all the coverage at Fanatics Fest and I'm hearing amazing things from so many people dealer wise who did it last year. And it was not a a lot of things. It was like the atmosphere was incredible and the opportunity was there. But as far as being a dealer setting up and selling stuff, there was not a lot of card people, wasn't geared around it, but they apparently shifted it a lot. They asked us multiple times if we could do it. And I said, look, with the building this close, we all on vacation, I'm like, there's no way I can do it. I can't step away right now. It was hard for me to step away the second week, but we had booked that family trip before we even inked our contractors, and I'm not giving up my family summer trip, but the guys did a great job. But again, I want to go to Fanatics Fest. I wish it was in New York. That gives me anxiety just hearing the word New York. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but everything I followed the content, it looked from a WWE fan and even a sports fan, it just looked awesome. I mean, it really did. And again, I was talking to guys setting up with cards and they just said, dude, it was unbelievable how many people they're buying and it's only going to grow. We hope it continues. I hope to be there in the future. It's just, I wish for my sanity and my body and my mental and everything, I wish it wasn't so close to the national. I wish it was a different time of year, but I know it probably coincides to how you get that many athletes. You don't have, you were in the last game of the NBA finals the weekend it was going on. You had hockey done, the only thing you really can't get is baseball, but you can get retired guys. Obviously you got Brady, you got LeBron there, all the WWE superstars you can think. I mean, they had SmackDown on Friday night and was it Michigan? And then they were all like Orton and a ton of them there on Friday were at the thing right there Saturday morning. It's I hope to go there sometime. I know it's a different vibe than the national, but I mean, you're still, it's different in so many ways. We know that. But it's cool to see it. It's new school meets old school. Let's be honest, the national is the old school way of doing things. I mean, you guys don't have to go to the lottery to pick your tables. Oh my God. It's so ancient. It is like, you get an index card. Here's your number. Go here. Where do you want it on the board? Okay, then here's this piece of paper. Then go here. And then it's just like, what is going on? Like, this is like, how is this so ancient and how they do it? I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like they're using pencils on a big, massive thing and like writing down like, oh, let me erase that and fix that booth number. And I'm like, there's got to be a modern way of doing this as far as setting this up. But, I will say the one thing I love about the National is crazy as it's gotten, as much money has been in that room, they have been so fair on their table prices. They have not raised the table prices in 6 years, and they could have. I mean, they maybe raised $100, but we paid $1,300 a booth for a 10x15. $1,300. I get 2 booths. And the thing is, if you don't have a Pridium or you're not in there, you're almost basically not getting a booth. Like, they could easily charge $5,000 a booth, and I'd pay it. I'd have to pay it. It's the National. I know Fanatics is much more, but you're getting cases. You're also in New York. I mean, I'm sure everything costs more, but it's just that it's the National. I mean, like, they could easily take advantage, and they have not. And I kudos them for that. And Fanatics, for what, if they're going to be able to drive these many collectors now to that show with, people I talked to were like, Ryan, there was just athletes and wrestlers just looking at my cases. It wasn't for content. They were just walking around. Celebrities were here, not with content. They were just in the environment, like, there. And, like, how cool is that for just this person to walk up and it's not for content, just to, like, actually want to buy a card from you or do something like that. So it's really cool to see. Let's be honest. Who would have thought Tom Brady would be so involved? And I know for a fact that, talking with my buddy Costa, that Brady absolutely loves cards, like, absolutely loves them and enjoys it, loves ripping, loves collecting. You would have told me Tom Brady, in my opinion, and most of my agree, I think the greatest regular season quarterback in NFL history is Peyton Manning, but the greatest quarterback of all time has to be Tom Brady for all his accomplishments, in my opinion. Who would be this involved and care about that? It's cool to see. It really is. I never thought it'd be that way, and it's cool to see more and more people be vocal. Sports cards are cool, guys. Come on, sports cards are cool. And who would have thought that? But I think we're all just, we're passionate collectors. We're hobbyists. We've been in this for so long, and we do this because we love it. We don't do it for the monetary dollar. We're collectors because we want to collect those players or teams or whatever we want to collect.
For me, I'll speak just for me. I can assume that's for everyone on here. That energy that's there, again, as great as it is, that is a lot of energy in a room. I'm not. I always go back to Ben. You'll show your hits. He had that, like, that constant, like, just like the East Coast vibe, as it were. It's just constantly, like, I won't say in your face, but you're always going. You're always on.
Always on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can't do that. I'm on. Give me a couple hours, and then I'm fucking off. I'm done.
Yep.
I can't be like Gronk. I can't. And again, whatever they've got in their supplements, good for them. I can't just keep on pushing the gas without, like, dropping out of the race for a little bit. It's just, you see some of that stuff, like, man, I can't do that. And I know we're all older, but it's just like, holy shit, I didn't think you'd go from here to, like, here, and, like, the energy wise, man, that ain't for me. I like the slower pace. And again, I know that's not where the hobby's going. I know that. But at the same time, it's just like, that's that for you guys, that Fanatic show makes sense. For, like, I'd say the other 4 on here, that, again, whatever you see out there, it'd be great to rub elbows, shoulders. It's not like me and Cody Rhodes are going to sit down and talk, though.
Yeah, true. Good point.
I can teach them how to shoot a 3-pointer, but it's just like that's just too much media, too much, like, the backyard breaks type, the woo, like, it's a Jersey Shore meets trading cards situation.
I see what you're saying.
But it's just like that, again, good for the hobby if you can stomach that, if that's the path you can go down and navigate it. But for me, the National's enough. And, like, other shows where just the dealing with the people, and I know you hear it a lot because you're not just sitting there. You'll give your attention, but you'll still hear stuff, and that's always the troublesome part, where it's like, I hear ignorance, and it's like, I want to correct, but I'm like, I can't, because I just can't. If you're asking me something, I will, like you, help. I will do what I can to like inform, and if you're going to make some sort of decision. But if you just hear the dumb people talk, it's like, man, it's like an echo chamber at times, where that's all you're hearing. Just
No, trust me, you deal with several ignorant people.
No, I might be preaching, as they say, to the choir.
Yeah. Yeah, you deal with there's usually 2 to 5 people at Nash over here who just truly piss me off or piss us off. Usually, maybe more. And we do our homework. You know, it's like, oh, I need to make money, and I'm like, buddy, like, yeah, that's great. Like, here's the deal.
So do I.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how much did you pay to be here? I've got 5 guys working under me. I got 3 hotels to pay for. I've got this to pay for, this to do. But you got to make money. Sure. Okay. But I'm trying to be fair here. If that's a $100 card, I got $100 on it. If you offer me $90, sure. If you offer me 70, I'm going to give you the stone cold in a nutshell, you know? And that's, and the thing is like, well, this comps, I'm like, buddy, we just comped it out last week or days before, you know, like, cool. Show me the lowest comp. How about the ones that do 110 and I put it at 100? It happens every year. And it's like, we don't need to sell to you. You want a card where I can sell to anybody. I've got repackers who I do like to deal with, and I've got repackers I don't like to deal with. But who I do like to deal with are collectors. My job is to get that card into a collector's hands. If I feel that's a collector's card, then I'm going to tell you, no, suck it. I'm going to sell this card to a collector. I don't care. You could offer me 95. I'd rather take 85 from a collector who's going to appreciate it, or $80. You know, I want them. I don't want to put money in your pocket if you're going to treat that way, or if you're going to be disrespectful to us. And there's people that do. And I tell them, our famous thing is give them top-notch customer service. That means they're not getting good customer service. They're getting, you just tell them straight up, like, this is how it's going down. If you don't like it, piss off in a nice way. We'll do the best we can. But like, we're there to deal with people who want to deal with us, who come and like, oh, I want to see this wrestling, or you guys have, you know, we try to price our stuff as fair as we can. I hoard. I don't go there to like, there's cards, sure, I don't want to sell, but all that stuff I don't put out anymore. If it's in the case, I'm there to sell. I'm not there to try to gouge you. I mean, there's cards I'm like, okay, if I go back with this, I'm cool with that, you know, but there's so many things I'm like, I'm here to sell these. My vintage graded rookies I've been hoarding. I've got 6 Jordan Fleer rookies coming on me, graded anywhere from a 4 to a 9 that I've held, you know, and I don't care if I sell any of those. I don't care, you know, but if I sell them, great. But those are ones like I've got, I don't know how many Koufax rookies, Clemente, Aarons I've been hoarding, all these Jim Brown rookies, this stuff like that, like, I don't care. A lot of mine are great eye appeal, great centering, great color. I'm going to price it based on eye appeal, not because it's an 80-20 card that got a 4. This is a 4 that's perfectly centered, great color that may have like a little crease or whatever, much better eye appeal. It's people who don't understand vintage that try to talk to you like they know what they're doing. Well, this comp says this. Well, I'm going to educate you. That is an old school PSA label. This is a brand new one. This has been redone, reholdered. You don't have to worry about anything phony or anything. It's exhausting the week prior to prep it. It's more exhausting the week of when people try to insult your intelligence. And I'm not saying I'm intelligent, but I know how to do my research. There's a reason why we have so many people come see us every year at National. There's a reason why people say they walk that room and nobody's got as fair prices as you. And I know there's other people who probably do. And there's people who probably don't know they underprice something. But we're going to be as fair as we can. So don't insult us. If you want to deal with us, great. If you don't, buddy, it's Wednesday. I've got till Sunday to sell this card. I don't need to give it to you for 70% on Wednesday. So again, I think there's more of that element at Fanatics. I was reading somebody give a kind of a grade and everything, and one thing he said, the hottest thing I noticed, if you had wrestling cards that were $20 to $100, you could have sold every one of any wrestler possible, because it was more wrestling people than anything. I'm like, well, guess what? That's what I have. Here's my problem. How in the hell am I supposed to get all that stuff to New York? I'm not driving that stuff to New York. I vow to never drive to Atlantic City ever again in my life. I'm not driving 16 or 18 hours to all that stuff. So how am I getting it there? And I'm not checking that stuff in. So I have constraints to get that stuff there. You know, if I lived on the East Coast, like Santiago, Tyler, he can drive all that stuff there. You know, he's got all that stuff he can drive there and have that more affordable stuff. But we're going to have that stuff in the National. I've been hoarding that stuff. I'm excited. I know I'm talking about National. We're going to have another conversation. But, you know, after this weekend, you know, my head is locked in for that. I've been locked in for a while. I just kind of had something else going on, you know, this building. So, but yeah, no, that's the main reason you guys had me on. Obviously we get on, we're just chatting, and we're friends. We've been friends for a long time, and I'm always happy to have you. I'm happy you guys had me on, and I always enjoy it with you guys. So I just love chatting about it. It's you get me in the shop, it's hard to have a conversation. You get me, my kids go to bed, and I'm not at my shop. You get full on Ryan.
Yeah. Well, hence the reason why the early plan, you know, was for us to be at National and to make sure that we got there sooner than like when the show starts, to be able to go out to eat at Maria's and be able to like hang for an extended period of time.
Buddy, we get on Monday. We're eating Maria's night 1. I already said we might eat Maria's night 2 as well. Like, that's already told the staff today. I'm like, Maria's is Monday because we get it on Monday. And I'm like, there's a good chance we're just going to go back to Maria's on Tuesday, boys. So, yes, you have to go to Maria's. Oh, my God. I'm so excited about Maria's.
See, and that's the thing, though. Like, initial conversations, like, we started having, like, plans. Like, everything, we started talking about it. And then, of course, with everything that happened with me, and that kind of changed everything. But, you know, if everything falls in place, which, like, early indications for next year, there shouldn't be an issue. I've told Vinny, it's like, I want to be able to go every day of the show. So like Wednesday to Sunday. Mm-hmm. So if that means I fly in on Sunday.
That was what I took off too.
You know, if I fly in Sunday, we can get out there on Monday, fuck around, do whatever.
Yep.
And then I come back Monday, Tuesday. Like, I don't give a shit. I have an unlimited vacation. Like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
If I want to take 2 weeks, I can take 2 weeks. But at the same time, since, like, I stayed at Vinny's house, like, I got to make sure it's convenient for them, though, too. I'm not just going to say, hey, so here's the plan. I've already booked it. Hopefully you can make it work. No, that's not.
I ain't got no kids left other than C.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So the big question, though, and Dave, I have a feeling that you probably have this on your mind. What are you voting for after Chicago runs out?
Chicago. Oh, no, Texas. Texas. I want to go to Texas. I think Texas is not just saying because you're down there.
It's not on the list. It's Atlanta or Detroit.
None of the above. Not Atlanta.
So you're not going to vote?
Not Atlanta.
Not Atlanta, I think is going to be – that's going to be the hashtag, not Atlanta.
I think there's more to do with Detroit. I don't know. I've been to Atlanta multiple times, and I don't think that's the place to have the national at. Let's just put it, or anything of that nature. I was just in Atlanta in April, and because we've had to go to the TOPS conference the past 2 years there, they now are saying, hey, we're growing out. We don't have to come back here next year. I'm like, thank God. Now I got a friend in Atlanta I get to go see that Chin and I are good friends with, which is good to see her. But she's actually flying in to be here for a grand opening, which is awesome. She's with one of our distributors. But so we're talking 28 they're voting on is what it is. Yeah. And there's the only
Detroit and Atlanta. That's from what we've heard. Now this is early information that we have been informed of. We have not done our due diligence to solidify and validate
your mom's
house. However, Detroit is also the same time zone as Central, right? So I would vote on the Eastern it is East. Jeez, how far is Detroit? Okay, Detroit's only an 8-hour drive, so that's better. That's like Cleveland to us, and then Atlanta is 9 hours. I guess I'm going to have – I guess if I have to vote, I'm going to vote probably Detroit. I just don't think Atlanta's safe enough for it. But, again, I don't I don't know,
Detroit
man.
would be at Cobo Hall, the former Cobo Hall, where they hold the national car convention.
Okay.
I mean, if you could have every OEM in the known universe come to Detroit every year for the past how many years with 3 million square feet of space, I think we'll be safe. It's no different in Cleveland.
They've got the logistics of it figured out.
Yeah, and what you do is you stay. I know it sounds crazy, but if you want to stay 45 minutes away in the suburbs, you're going to save a ton of money if you're going there as a collector. Because if I have my new house by then, which I should, my wife's already said she's going on vacation. You guys can all just stay here. And she's like, yes. Because my wife has said, I'm leaving.
He's like, more money for Terrell Davis.
You guys take over. And she's like, how many guys we're talking? I said, well,
I don't know yet. It may be more.
It's gonna be a true sausage fest. You know about that, Dave. Sausage fest, yeah.
and at that time, let's see, that's 3 years from now, and a 16-year-old kid.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, she wouldn't miss it for the world.
I think Detroit will probably win because they're and I know the Chicago Sports Spectacular has now started a show in Detroit and same places where they have the national. What I was going to say was if you guys can't wait that long, my advice would be to fly in for one of the Chicago Sports Spectaculars either in March or November. And that is more of a low-key, still a great show, same place they have the national, outstanding show, but we can go out to dinner every friggin' night there. It's not anything like national because really the first 2 nights of national are my favorite because it's just small. It's easy to get into anywhere to eat. You're relaxing. It's the calm before the storm.
Right.
And then Wednesday hits Wednesday's such a long day where they're all morning till 7, 8 o'clock. Then we have to rush to a panini dinner. And then Thursday, they're till 6. And I think our tops dinner is now on Thursday this year. And then Friday, I got my peach dinner. And then Saturday, we host our dinner that we take people out. So, you only get 2 nights of just, hey, this is what we get to go and enjoy. And that's why I'm putting for Maria's both nights. I'm telling the guy, I'm like, we can go to Morton's on Tuesday if you want. We're doing Gibson's on Thursday. Well, you guys are if I have to go to this tops thing. But, I could eat. I mean, I'm telling you, man, Maria's, dude. I can just taste it right now. I'm so excited. We were talking about today, and we were telling my one employee, Craig, Matt was like, Maria's is just absolute fire. I actually asked them when I was there in November if I can rent out their outside space that's covered for our dinner event that we do. And they're like, well, yeah, what day would you want to do it? I was like, it would be this date on a Saturday. Oh, no, buddy, we don't rent this out on the weekends. If it was a Tuesday or Thursday, no problem. We're not renting this out. I'm like, damn, what would it cost? Can we just entertain this? Because I would love to just have my dinner party there. But we're saying, do you guys remember the Toby Keith's back on the entertainment area back there behind the garage? Yeah. It's called Bub City now. So we rent it out. I just finalized it the Friday, or was it the other day? We're going to have 60 people at our dinner this year. And we've grown. We had 40-something last year. Started small. We used to go to Morton's, just us, and I grew a little bit. So now it's kind of like our customer appreciation. And we bring, a couple distributors, a couple manufacturer higher-ups in that we invite. But for the most part, it's just inviting friends and customers, that we want. And we've got it for 3 hours. It's nothing to do with any cards, no cards there whatsoever. A couple years ago, I had boxes of select WWE at the table. We did Morton's, and last year we did no cards, and everybody just had a great time. The atmosphere was awesome. It was indoor, outdoor. The place we found in Cleveland was just amazing. The buffet food was awesome, but it was cool because they literally let us close the damn restaurant down. They let us close the bar down, which was awesome. We won't get this luxury because we're doing from 7:30 to 10:30. Apparently, the band starts at 10. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be done at 10:30. I don't want to have to hear a damn band playing. I'm
Right.
too old for that crap. I'm like, we'll just quit at 10:30 because like you can go another hour. And I'm like, yeah, we're good at 10:30. Like we're done. We'll be good.
Unless it's good music, then maybe you change your mind.
It's probably going to be country, and I'm not huge on country. I don't dislike it, but I at the same time, I also like to not. I like to have a conversation and not yell. And I've been probably yelling all week or talking loud all week because everything. Usually by this day, I've lost my voice, which was weird last year. I lost my voice like before the thing started, and then when it started, I had a voice the rest of the week. It was so weird. But every year, it's like I lose my voice like clockwork. I have to I need to start taking like training classes on like how to have like talk loud, and it's just so loud there. You got to over talk everything. So, but yeah, I would have to say Detroit, I guess, if that's the option. Back to that, I didn't even know.
I would love to have it in Texas because like it would be like I live in an apartment. It's not like I could have somebody crash on my couch.
Yeah.
Works for me.
But it's one of those in which just to be able to drive, not. It's just different. Sleep in your own bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't know.
Dave, how far are you from Michigan, Detroit?
Oh, that'd probably be about 12, 13 maybe.
Gosh.
Just because there's no like straight shot.
Straight shot, yeah.
I'm gonna go around Lake Michigan. I gotta go around part of Lake Superior. So I'm either going UP and down or through Chicago and up.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the
12
thing.
12 hours, 47 minutes.
So
okay, there you go. That's a little bit of a haul.
I would fly out of Kansas City to Detroit.
Yeah, I would prefer to fly, but I have to haul.
Yeah,
we have to haul the stuff, and I'm not one to basically say, "Hey guys, you guys get to haul this crap up and be responsible." Let me just go. I vow not. Maybe when I get older one day, I don't know, but it's just I don't want that responsibility on them. It's just too much, and you can only fly with so much. So yeah, that's why I definitely like Chicago for us. It's only 4.5 hours, and I do it 3 times, 2 times a year. And if the Nationals there, I'm there 3, sometimes 4 times a year going to Chicago. And I don't know. I'm just so used to it. I've done it so long, and I know where everything is. I know how to get around. And we just post up. We stay at the Hyatt now. We just literally, if we go anywhere, we just Uber. I mean, literally, I don't touch my vehicle the second I'm there. Like, I just leave it. I mean, now it's nice we get to park in our hotel garage, and if I'm like, all right, maybe go get drinks for everybody or something. But, I mean, once you get, once the National gets going, it's just like this. Blink an eye and it's over. We laugh every year. We drive up, and on the first day, we're like, National's already over, boys. Like, it's Monday. It's already over. And literally, it just goes like that every year. And I love it. It's my favorite week of the year. There's no question. I kill myself the week before with John pricing to get it done, but it's when I'm there, I have such a great time and just seeing so many people. I wish you all could be there. It's great to see you guys, and I hope you guys can eventually get up there or get to meet up at our show. If I can I'll try to get down to Dallas Card Show. Maybe I don't know how things look. We haven't scheduled our fall yet. If I can get down there in the fall, Steve, I will. If not, I do like to go early in the year. By then, I'm usually lost. I'm burnt out. I want to get away because I've been stuck in my shop for Holiday Mania and the holidays for 2 months straight. And because I think the last trip I take is Chicago, November. And then after that, I call it grounded for 2 months. I don't go anywhere. So by January hits, I'm ready to go somewhere. Would be great to go down there. But the only problem is every year I only can seem to leave one day, come back the next.
Yeah, I was like, it's a quick whirlwind trip, which again, as I told you, man, I get it. Like last time you were here when we talked about it, I texted you, and like I don't even remember what it was. Like you ended up having something else going on before you were going to leave.
Yeah.
It was like it would take me an hour to get there. Like no, like we'll find some time. Like we'll make it work somehow, shape, form, or fashion. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah, I'll get. Like I said, I will keep you in the loop. And like I said, if I can get down there this fall, I'd love to. I haven't looked at I honestly have not checked my physical family schedule or schedule in general after the National. I have right now we have no fall plans yet, but we're going to do something with the kids every fall break. We do something every spring break. Those memories to me, I mean a lot to me, and those time with them is huge. So we will get something on the docket, but that is like usually around Halloween weekend. So if I can get down there September or something, I don't know. I may go to I went to a Des Moines, Iowa card show last year, and Mike, I don't know how far Des Moines is from you, but
Not
it was
terribly far.
dude, it was old school card show feeling. It was awesome. I screwed up by coming in on Thursday and leaving Friday, and there was a dealer setup, which the dealer setup sucked. But I still did decent. But then Friday, it was just you just got the vibe that there was like cool cards here, old school cards, reasonable people, everybody super nice, and it was. I'm gonna go. I want to go back because I couldn't do the one in March because it's like the week after Chicago every year, and I'm like, that's not gonna fly. But this one, I'm gonna leave on a Friday and come back on a Saturday. I highly advise checking it out. It was a great card show, like an actual good card show. It reminds me of like way card shows used to be, I guess, is describe it. So I'd like to go check that out. So the reason why I do these short little 24-hour trips is if I do that, then I have more opportunity to tell my wife, hey, I want to go to this show. If I go for just 24 hours or 30 hours, then I can go to something else at some point. It's just hard with the kids. I mean, it's hard, and they've got sports and, it's, my wife's, stay on mom. The kids are in school and camp. My youngest is not starting kindergarten this fall, but next fall. Things are getting easier. He's growing up. They're all growing up. So eventually it'll get easier. It's just still 3 of them that just come at you crazy. So
I get it. Yeah. I don't have that issue. My youngest is 18. So
you're out of that now. I'm living in it. I'm 4, 6, and 8. I'm just in the heat of it. At my age, 4, 6, and 8, I should have been a lot younger to do this, but wasn't ready. Now.
And my son gets married at the end of August.
Oh, congratulations! That's awesome. Congrats.
Yep. So it's like you blink and you're going, huh? What? You're how old?
Yeah. I mean, yours are much older than mine, but I feel that way, especially with Parker. I can't believe a kid's going to be 9 this year in September. It's going very quick. And it does, man. It does, and that's why I try to enjoy the moments I have. And I work too hard, and this new building is taking a lot out of me. And but it was nice. It was nice, to take that week off after 2 weeks of just. I literally did not take a day off for 2 weeks, and then it was good to spend that time with them. And eventually we'll get this place the way we want it, and I can start taking more time with them. But I try to shut down on the days I'm off, and it's hard sometimes, but for the most part, I got a great team who step up and do everything great. When Tyson's not buying on Sundays, Nathan steps up and buys. We're always buying 6 days a week. Tyson is just a machine, man. I taught him so much, and he just ran with it. I mean, he's been there since before ground break of the first shop. So we're lucky to have Tyson. I know you all know Tyson very well, and I'm excited for him. Again, said that earlier. I know he's super pumped. He actually. He's quitting soda. He's drinking water now. He said he knows now that he's in for the national. He's trying to take better care of his health, which is we've been on him for, which I was happy to hear. And I heard this today from everybody that he was telling my other employee, Jeff, who's older, hasn't been to a national in 95 in St. Louis. And he's excited, but he's mid 60s and not in the greatest shape either, but he's a great guy. He's like, Jeff, you're going to be so exhausted. Buy new shoes, drink lots of water, eat healthy, all this stuff. And I told Tyson, I said, Tyson, I know you're back. I said, we'll have the fatigue mats. You're there to sell. Yes, we'll look at some stuff to buy, but not like you buy on a daily basis. Yep. If you're taking this spot, you're there to sell. He's like, Ryan, I'm in. I'm so grateful that you're asking me. He's happy to be back on the team with it. And because he's very important back in the store. And he doesn't like to go, I think, by him. He doesn't like to really go up and like he used to and do that stuff. I don't think he wants to walk around and be with the crowds and everything. And I think this is the best case opportunity. But like I said, he's super pumped and we're excited to have him. I think he's going to be a great addition to the entire national team that we have. And gets easier in ways every year, but I think Tyson being there it's positive. And I think a lot of people would just be happy to see Tyson, and the fact that I don't, if you guys notice, I don't really put myself on video anymore. I basically put Tyson out there and he hates it. And I'm like, Tyson, this is great, man. Just do the video. You do all this crazy buying every week and you're so good with people and you're honest. He's so honest with people. And I'm so grateful that he doesn't screw anybody over. He's like, I'm not trying to screw you. I'm showing you this. You think it's this. Let me show you the past 3 things. Everybody likes dealing with them because they see that, you know. So, and I don't do any buying anymore. I don't buy in the shop. I only buy at shows. I don't do any buying. I mean, literally, he could buy as big a deal as he wants. He has free reign to buy anything. He made a not great buy a while back, and I was as big as buy ever made, and I let him run with it because I want to see how he did. And he didn't do awful. We didn't lose money, but we had to work our butt to break even. It was a very large deal, and he felt bad. I said, don't feel bad. I said, Tyson, you have to – this deal right here is going to teach you so much. And here, I took the stuff home that night. I broke it down the way it should have been sorted, how it should have been digressed and looked at. He learned from that, and he's like, now I know. I got to look at these bigger deals as a different animal. And, you know, he's like, I just don't want you to lose money. I said, I trust you, man. You know, but – you have to make these not great buys. You have to make these buys and to learn. You know, it's not always about making money. If I sit on the guy too long, I'm going to lose money. But he's really
you can't win them all.
No, you can't win them all. You know, can't win them all. And it's not about it. To me, it was I needed him to learn it. Part of me was like, I was like, this sucks, but I'm glad because he's never going to make this mistake again. This is the biggest deal I ever made in the shop, like ever. And since then, he's learned, and again, we haven't had a deal of that magnitude come in, but it's been a lot of crazy, man. Like the week I was on vacation, I called him and I was like, what's this right here? You've gone through like all the money I've left in the deposits. He's like, he started to laugh. He's like, you don't even know what I've done this week. He's like, you're going to kill me. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I want you to buy. I literally want you to buy. We need cards. We need stuff for national. We need stuff for the shop. Like, you're there to buy. Like, you're there to talk to people, to price cards, buy cards, help customers. Your job is our lead buyer. And he's done a great job. I'm proud of him. I'm so proud of him. And, you know, he's been there. You know, he's been there since day one. And long time. You know, it was Neil number 1, and then Tyson was right there, man, number 2. And you know, he's on the floor, I'm in the back, but you know, I come out, what did you buy? What did we get? Cool. You got this process. What do I need to take? Let me look at this. Cool. Give me this. I'll go back. I'll duck this out. We'll get it out in the case. And a lot of great, we're getting better. We have so much back stock from just buying that we don't have time to price. And there's things we're never going to get to, but we're getting better at this new store, and I think it's because we have the space to get the stuff out, and we have the team. I'm teaching all these guys to do this, so I want to be like not to the magnitude of Burbank, but we got to be better at processing. Burbank does a phenomenal job at singles, a phenomenal job at processing it.
They've got like 30 people though, Ryan. Like,
I know. I mean, they're probably more than 30 people. I mean,
I'm just throwing that out there, but I mean, come on, like there's a big difference.
Did you see their kiosk they have?
Where you can look up the cards and see what they have?
Yeah, and you basically pull a thing with a code. They scan it, go grab your shit, and
it's nuts, man.
There should be a way at the National, if you could register your cards in a way where you could go on a kiosk and say, I'm looking for 1516 OPG Platinum, Mary Lemieux Red, and Mary Lemieux Autograph, and type it in there. And if you could do that, I mean, it's like eBay in a way, but those 2 cards, I've been looking for them since 2017. So,
I mean, truly a needles in a haystack inside a massive room. Like, are these even in here? You know? Yeah, I get it.
There's an app somebody was trying to develop to do that, where you can scan your cards into the app. You're at this card show, you plug it in. I mean, that's a brilliant idea. If you're in that massive sea of humanity with modern technology and you're looking for X, Y, and Z, there it is.
Yeah, I see that.
And there's that card taxi guy that goes around and looks for cards for people. He was
Interesting.
with Roth guy. He's one of his.
Ross cards.
Yeah, it's one of
Okay.
his buddies. He literally he calls himself the sports card taxi. He'll taxi your card around, try to sell it for you, and he takes a piece, or you tell him what you're looking for, and he hunts it down.
I'll be darned.
It's like almost like a personal buyer.
It's smart. It's innovative. Think about it. Think outside the box.
Yeah.
If he was about 30 years old and had a little bit of more of this in his noggin, he would be deadly. But he's like 24, 25. He could do some damage.
It's no different, Ryan. Like if you would have, and take this with a grain of salt. Not that I'm saying that this would have not happened. But going to Houston, taking the dual auto that I took from the shop because the card shop owner was trying to move it and couldn't move it. With you setting up at various shops and everything else and knowing certain people, the fact that you literally took it to one person, showed it to them in like 5 seconds, and we walked away, and within minutes, like people were at your fucking table asking about it.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same kind of concept. The only difference is you had the contacts. You knew where to go. You knew who would probably be like, oh shit. Dual auto, yes, it's college uniform, but dual auto Jordan Bird numbered to 5. Okay, yeah, this is a fairly big card. Somebody's going to want this. I know who to talk to. And then again, like it spread like wildfire through the fucking TriStar show.
Yeah, I mean, and that was a long time ago. You know, I mean, it's
without a doubt. But again, like same type of idea, same type of concept.
Yeah.
Like Vinny said, if like this person, for instance, had additional contacts and stuff along those lines, it could definitely be profitable, 100%. Even more so, because if you know the people and what they're looking for, you show it to one person, and before you know it, like multiple people are interested.
It's kind of like because I've gotten so big into the wrestling cards and everything, is people reach out to me or something like Adam Gelman, or like they're like, hey, such and such looking for this person. At this point, I know enough people in the wrestling community that I know such and such collects here. This person's a super collector. This wrestler, this is your buyer. Go to this person. There may be other ones, but I know this person is. I've been able to help a lot of people get that. The vice versa. Being
you get it too.
Oh my gosh! Like literally, if a 101 hits eBay of either Orton, Rollins, Bray, or Howdy, we get notified. I get notified from several different people, which is awesome. It's amazing, and a lot of leads on a lot of things. This got pulled last night, and people hit us up like, "Hey, I pulled this card," and every 3 people literally said I need to come to you. What do you want to pay? And I mean, I'm your buyer on that stuff. I mean, I know what I'm willing to pay, and I guarantee I'm paying more than anybody on those wrestlers. I mean, there might be somebody paying more than us on Bray Wyatt, but hard for me to overpay on Bray Wyatt for an 8-year-old kid anymore. I mean, I do. But, Howdy, I just bought him the Howdy Superfractor. He doesn't even know. Like, this kid doesn't even know the value of the card. He's never sold a card in his life. He loves base cards. If it's his wrestlers, he collects them. It was really cool. Dexter Loomis, I tracked down. Parker loves the Wyatt 6. Obviously, he doesn't have Bray anymore. Dave will know this, but Uncle Howdy is Bray Wyatt's brother in real life, and he's basically taken the torch, and he's got a group of wrestlers that are under him. It's called the Wyatt 6. Parker loves them because they're linked to Bray Wyatt. So now he's been collecting. When we rip new products like the Topps Chrome, he wants to keep the Dexter Loomis, the Eric Rowan, the
Nikki Cross,
all of them. He wants to keep it. So he's been keeping the autographs. So I acquired the Dexter Loomis Superfractor auto. It wasn't crazy, maybe $300 for. I don't remember what it was. I can't remember how I got it. I think it either eBay or it got pulled. I don't know. And I redeemed it, and it came in the mail. And Parker, he's like, "Hey, Dad, I see you got some redemptions in." There was like a CM Punk auto there. He's like, I go, yeah, did you see the one? He goes, yeah, Dexter Loomis Super Refractor. And I was like, yeah, it's mine. He goes, isn't that mine? I was like, yeah, it's yours. So I posted a picture and this in my Instagram story, and I thought I'll just tag Dexter Loomis. Well, he actually responded and was chatting with me about it. And he was like, so cool. Remember signing that card? I was like, here's a flawless 101 that we have too, that you actually drew some like eye on it and stuff. And thank you for having a really unique autograph and taking the time, and appreciate you responding. My kid loved the fact that he did. So you're very welcome, So that's just, to me, it's, you get a lot of that with wrestlers, not just social media, but just the overall, like they're trained to be very fan friendly in environments. I think it's why they do so well at Fanatics Fest, but it's been so awesome to collect wrestling cards with Parker. The only things I really collect anymore in a nutshell are, besides like I'm kind of on this Babe Ruth kick lately, but is wrestling and Star Wars, and non-sports, that we enjoy it together. And I think I've talked about that many times on here, but from a guy who used to grow up collecting baseball, then football, then LeBron, then this and that, I found so much more enjoyment. It reminds me of being a kid collecting wrestling more than anything. Just, I wish I could just collect one guy. I wish I could just collect Orton and just call it a day, but I just love Seth Rollins. And I'm like, I got to collect two. And then Parker's like, I love Bray Wyatt, but he passed away. I want to collect his brother. I can't tell my kid, no, you can't collect two people. His daddy collects two people, and now he wants to do the other ones.
You can. It's just probably not the right approach.
You can. Yeah, you can. But it's like, it's just, we have so much fun with it. We haven't ripped in a while, actually. We've been just busy. Summer's been busy, and obviously
WrestleMania. I'm assuming WrestleMania was probably your last big.
Yes,
rip.
It was the last one. I brought home a select case 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, and we have not touched it yet. I'm like, do I just take it back to the store? Do I open it with them? We were going to rip it for, was it Money in the Bank? But then we ended up having friends over, like the neighbor kids over, and some friend neighbors. And I'm like, I don't really want to do this with a bunch of people. He's like, oh, can such and such rip this? I'm like, it was like some random stuff I care about, fine. But like, I have such OCD when we rip this stuff. I have to organize it. I'm like, I get so anxiety when my other kids want to rip too. And I love when they want to rip, but it's just pure chaos. And I have to sort and organize. I have to it's like the old school card guy in me. And I'm like, just, it drives me nuts, man. But I love it. That's why I like doing the trip to Columbia with Parker. It's literally so fun. We go to the shop, we rip that night. It's kind of our father-son trip we do 3 times a year, actually. So it's, eventually one day Parker will make the national. I would love to take him. I would love to just go to Fanatics Fest and not sit up and just go there as with him or the kids and the wife and just take that in and not sit up just for that, because I can't devote that time at the national to him. And I would feel so bad. Like every year, oh, when's Parker coming? I'm like, I literally, I can't get my kid the focus that he deserves. Like I want to be able to do stuff. He's not going to sit behind a table for how many hours, for how many days, I'm sure he would if I gave him a device and some stuff, but it's like, I don't want him on a device. I want to get that and, do things with him. So it's just,
it's one thing if he was older and a little bit more self-sufficient to where like he could literally go walk the floor.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. Yeah, he's
well, no, of course, no.
I know you know. It's just we're not. Yeah, like we're years away from that opportunity. So, but one day he'll go. Just if it ever comes down, I guess. I don't think it's ever going to come down.
It'll be the time of your life, because I was there with Cecilia. She was 12.
Yeah,
you saw her. And she asks me every year, she goes, are we going this summer? There's 2 things she asks. When are we going to Pennsylvania to see my folks and my brother? And when are we going to a card show? And I'm like, awesome. She's a collector. She collects, we go to the comic book store and she buys those manga comic books, and she's into these statues of all this anime. And Ed, who's on here, those 2 are like 2 4-year-olds talking. It's great. This hobby's afforded me people that I know now that can talk to my 12-year-old with full conversations at, where were we? Portobello's? Yeah, Portillo's. And my 11-year-old daughter's sitting there with Ed Westergriff just talking, and she didn't shut up. All about
That's awesome.
these anime cards, this Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all this stuff, Japanese anime. And I'm like, this is why I have, it's not why I have friends, but to have friends that my daughter, who, like, my wife's a junior reporter in training, is what she calls her, because she collects just all kinds of stuff. We were going through.
And then you had Naomi, who barely said a word.
Yeah.
so much like her dad.
But
Much like her dad.
She's just, like me. She went with the people. I think
I know she had fun.
Yeah, the opportunity to do something different. And then the eating part, of course, because that obviously comes from me. But yeah, just the go. She's like me that I'm like, I'm like, stop being a dick. I know you're tired. I'm fucking more tired than you. But again, this isn't the rest of our lives. This is a minute amount of time. I said, for how much shit I fucking do for you, you can
do it for me.
You pay that for the few days. I said, my God.
Yeah, the one time that Dave was firing on all cylinders, like he was still go.
Yeah. We were up till that one night, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, just bullshitting. Dave and I on the couch,
and then up before 7.
Yeah.
So
we slept like 2 hours, and then we were doing a live stream, Friday night, and Stove was like, "What's that sound?" That's Vinny passed the hell out. First into bed, because Friday I was tuckered that night.
Yeah, because they were up till 4. I think I crashed out at like 3:15. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
The second night we were up till what, 2?
2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. And
we had to go to bed early because Friday we had to go meet Terrell Davis. So we obviously did that well.
And I found an autographed.
We made it.
Yeah,
with plenty of time.
My kid found a Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th autographed mask. You'd have thought it was $25. He thought I bought her the Holy Grail. It was
at least it was only $25.
Yeah, I was about to hand the lady a 50. She's like, "Oh, it's 50% off." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'd have paid the 50."
Even better. I'm eating better tonight.
She has it hanging downstairs in her office, and it's something she'll always remember. And she's going to do it again.
I mean, I have the freaking junk truck still in the same box that it was in, plus all the autographed 3x5 cards. Like, I have all that stuff in the same box that the junk truck was in, that Mark brought, just to keep it separate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what's about? Sorry, guys, you're losing me. I'm already. It's past my bedtime now. I feel like Neil now. I'm like, this just hit me like 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, just hitting me on. I'm like, I'm not trying to yell.
I'm supposed to be in bed already.
Yeah. So, I think you got any closing things or anything? I guess. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude.
You're good.
I've had a lot. I'm shocked I made it this one. Anytime I get on, even John last year at National was like, you were so exhausted when you went on there, and you're like, I think I can only do 30 minutes. And he goes, Ryan, you were on for over 2 hours, and you were so happy. You were showing off them cards, and you were just chatting up. He's like, I can, because he stays, I'm in the basement, or the guest bedroom. We call it John's bedroom. He's like, man, you went from a guy that didn't think you had anything left in the tank to you were up for 2 hours just talking, having a great time. I'm like, what happens when I get all these guys? I get that wind in me, and I get some blood in me, I guess.
And he's looking like, you get excited to go on there with that crew?
He likes, yeah, no. I always enjoy John's so behind the scenes. He doesn't have anything social media whatsoever. No Facebook, nothing, and everybody seems to know who John Yates the Sheriff is. It's the funniest thing ever. The guy literally has no social media presence ever, and literally gets people coming up to him, "Hey, Sheriff," and he's like, "What the fuck? I don't have like who are these people?" It's funniest thing, man. He's got stories for days about that.
Like when baseball collector comes and sees Dave.
Well, I'm a unique personality, as people have said. Some people say I'm special. I don't know how to take that. Well, because I know what they mean, but I'm going to ask you, and I know you've said it before on here, and it hasn't come to fruition, but any chance that the YouTube stuff starts at least trickling out at like a stream pace, and that doesn't have to be a waterfall?
Yes, thank you. That was one thing that is in the vision for after National. We're going to be getting equipment to we're hoping eventually our Instagram live breaks will transition to YouTube live breaks. If we can grow that, rebuild it, and that way we can have all our breaks more recorded better and to really show live hits, have more personal, meaning like you can see a face of my guy or my guy's breaking, and more of like angles, things like that. But, obviously we're not going to change the show platform. It's going to be the way we present our stuff. So that is on the docket. Plus, by revitalizing YouTube, we also, with our podcast, we want to get videos. We want to start having video editing so we can start putting some of that on YouTube. We're wanting to start really unveiling this. After the National, really, that's another thing on the docket. I've got my guy who did all my security cameras and their TVs and stuff. He's like, whenever you're ready with the podcast thing, I got some ideas. I can do all the equipment. I can get it all set up for you guys. Everything you want to do for all that stuff, just let me know and hire me and I'll do it. He's a great guy. He's done all our stuff for years and he's good dude. He does great work. So I don't mind paying him to do all that. So we're eventually, yes, we're going to have all that. We're going to revitalize YouTube. That's coming back. To what extent, I just know the breaking and then the podcast, but we're hoping to maybe get some more video stuff, maybe, professionally done videos of events we do and stuff like that. I need to probably hire, not like a full-time person to walk around with a video camera, but maybe just for events, hire somebody who's do some content for us that we post out, and I know we're lacking that. And that's why I've been big on my guys to very like, hey, be active in the story, be active in video posting. Like, people want to see this. Like, I can't do it all. I can't go on the floor. And I did it the first week like crazy. And I was trying to set an example. And I'm like, I don't want to ask you guys, like, if you got to see if just people in our shop, put in a story, do a 40-second video walking around, show people ripping, show people digging in boxes. People love that. I love seeing it. I'm watching videos of people's shops, and I'm like, this is, even if they're 500 square foot shop, I love seeing that, and I know other people do too. It's like, we want to show people this is the vibe that we have here, but people like seeing it too. So yes, we're hoping that's all going to happen. No, I'm not going to be a content creator or anything like that. I'm too old for that crap. But I know it's the way of it. And I know a lot of people that do that and they do very well with it, but I would like to be more, get on camera more when I can. I got to pick and choose my battles where I'm at. It's behind the scenes with a lot of stuff, family time, stuff like that. But really, that's why I throw Tyson out there all the time, because he's great. He's funny with it. He's good. And we want to be able to show more things like that. So that is, yes, the YouTube is going to be revitalized. That is for sure going to happen in 2025. Mark my words, it's going to happen. I basically put it on hold to get this store in order to get a grand opening out of the way. So,
well, yeah, you got X amount of day, 1,800 irons and fire. I mean, you're. That was one thing though. I'm like, I wonder how much that's going to be a factor, because again, I think that's about the only thing I'd say you're missing. Again, it doesn't have to be constant. It doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the heavily edited shit. You don't need to be sitting there and like spending hours in post and sitting there like, oh, I need to have this overlay, or have to have this music or this type of camera work going. You just the organic what brought us all to the table.
Organic. You said it right.
Record, and then we're taking off. If we screw up, we sound dumb. Guess what? There's a fucking 100 hours on every one of our channels that sounds that way.
Mhm.
So that's what you go through it. You don't, if it sounds perfect, people. I like the look, but I want to buy into the people, and that's what you guys have done. It's not. It's organic. It's not bullshit. Manufactured. We're gonna some copy.
You're right.
Yeah, it's not fake.
Yeah,
no,
it's
all our
real.
stuff is organic, and that's nothing is stage or anything like that. This is real life collectors, real life atmosphere. We had I had all my cameras. I should have pulled the video off. It was our first weekend, and 24 Select Football was recently out. And in our cameras, we could see these kids in the event space just going crazy, jumping up and down, freaking out. We're like, holy crap, like, we got to go get this. Let's, I could post this video. And I'm like, what did you guys pull? And like, he's got a black Nike 101. That's all we know. We don't know who it is. And we know it's a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, sweet. Like, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it was Jordan Travis. And they were just, he's like, wait, this is the kid's like, who pulled it. He's like, this is a card you make a meme of. Like the guy's retired from football. But the reactions were so like jumping up and down crazy. Like, we got something big here. Like today, one of Parker's teammates on his baseball team that we are the sponsors for the jerseys or logos on it and everything like that. He's gotten so big into cards the past month in the new store. And now he started his own YouTube channel. Not YouTube. Maybe he's doing Instagram. Maybe it's going to YouTube. I don't know. And he's doing like recordings of ripping. And his dad came by the shop today and he got like 4 packs to go home. And one of which was an Optic hobby football pack. And his dad they were going to record it, but they had to run. They had something to go to. I can't remember what it was. So he let him rip it. And the kid asked, like, there was only 3 packs left in the box. And they had Sarah, Matt's wife, who works part-time for us, pick up the pack. He's like, well, I want it downtown. I want to pull downtown, the kid says. And she's like, here, I'll grab you a pack. This is the downtown. Sure enough, he pulled the dual downtown. Stevie will appreciate this. Bo Nix, John Elway today.
Shit.
And so happy. But the kid was so pumped from one of his videos he posted. He pulled his first ever 101. To me, it was as cool as Dallas Turner printing plate autograph 101 from Contenders. But his video and his reactions are so organic. His dad's like, we record like everything. His first downtown, we could have got he was freaking out. It was crazy. And I'm like, man, I would love to just, see that, his reactions. And, but we posted the picture of him, so happy to pull it. And he, like I said, he's gotten really close to Parker because, now that he's gotten into cards, they'll talk at a baseball game yesterday and they're actually talking and stuff. And it's not about baseball. It's about ripping cards, and Parker's one's like, I don't rip football, baseball, basketball. He said, I just do WWE and Star Wars. But then he had ripped a box. WWE came in one day and he was there. And Brian, who's the kid's dad, is also one of Parker's coaches. He's like, man, just rattling off Parker, knowing everything in there, all these wrestlers, every card. Oh, that's this thing. That's you see that from the side, slow roll and everything. He's like, it was like I was watching a professional, right in front of my kids, educator. I was like, Parker's a professional ripper at 8 years old. He was a professional ripper at 5 years old. He knows it. He loves it. And, dude, he knows the slow roll. He knows, I know, Dad, this is a zebra or this is a whatever. He doesn't really know, what a downtown is and all that stuff because, he knows from, 3 count, but they only did 1 year at WWE. But, no, it's just, again, it's organic, and that's what we like to be, is we want to be we don't do anything like that as insane. If Tyson does these buys, these are just, what did you buy? Go out there. A lot of the times now I like doing the video. He wants to show me. I'm like, no, let me go do a video, and I want to get my reaction. Right. What did you buy me? He bought a deal where it had a Richard Jefferson 0304 exquisite patch auto, and I was like, I saw that. He's like, you're gonna love this. I was like, dude, how did this walk in our store? I mean, it's Rich Jefferson, but he was a solid ball player, still $150 card. But he's like, there was just cool things in there. I'm like, when I want to get my reaction, I want my reaction to be with everybody else, and vice versa. And so, and I think that's what we're trying to do is create that. And I think with YouTube, with my guys breaking, my Mats or now Brandon breaking, their live reactions can be seen better. We can post that on social media if we pull some big card. We've had some big cards pulled over the years, and We just haven't had the capability to post a quality video, and now we can do that. We can have their face reaction, maybe behind the scenes, not screaming to make you go deaf in your ears, but just like freaking, just those reactions and customers. We do, like, sometimes we'll get word of customers like, hey, I think I got a super fractor here. I don't know who it is. Do you care if I get my video out? Cup booklet. I have a booklet in here. We don't know what it is. Cool. Let me get the video out. Guys, it's not hard. I tell them all the time. If somebody's ripping there and they're like, hey, I haven't seen it. We're not ripping the whole box, but I don't know what's here. Do you guys want to watch this? Can we, is it cool if we record? Sure. Go ahead. And we get those reactions with them. Those are, we don't go, oh, this was already open 5 minutes ago. Everybody knows this. Let's stage. These are like, we're finding out with you. These guys ripping up. Like, we had a crazy one of those Marvel superfractor with the Wolverine claw pulled the other day, and I didn't. The guy doesn't get like real excited, but like Tyson brought it back, and I was like, holy crap, dude, this card is incredible, man. Like, it's like thicker and like it just pops so good, and I'm like, it's cool to see stuff like that, and we want more moments captured like that. We want to be able to take this new shop to the next level. There's things we're missing, we're fall behind on, that we got to get better at, and I don't want to always be the one to have to do it. I want other people to step up and do it. They have capability. They have a phone. Tyson's like, the other day he goes, what did I ask him? I say, can you give me a video of something? Well, I don't have Instagram. I go, Tyson, take a video and text me it, and I'll post it. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, dude, you went to school for 20 years, man. Like, you don't have to have Instagram. I can post it. Just go get the video. Well, now you say that, I guess I could start doing that. I'm like, yes, like, you guys don't have to post it right to Instagram or social media. Send me it. Send any of the other guys who have capability. It's like, I know we get so busy on Sundays, and I'm like on Nathan all the time. And I'm like, Nathan, and sometimes he'll like, hey, I bought a lot today. I just did a video. Do you want to go look and see what I bought you? And I'm like, yes, I want to go watch that. Let me go watch this video now and see, and I need them to do that, because my other guys, Neil and Matt, we wear too many hats. There's too many things behind the scenes we do, and they do a great job. Matt does a great job stepping and doing that, but Matt does need to add more to his element. I don't need to add more to my plate, but I try to set an example, and I need the guys out there or anybody, grab your phone. You have a phone, record it on a video, send it to me. Get a picture. Did you get a picture? Oh, no, I didn't. Why? How hard is it to take a picture of that pull or that card of either that person holding it or whatever? It's not hard. It's so easy.
Yep.
And it's just
5 seconds.
5 seconds, right? Yeah.
It takes 5 seconds to take a picture.
Yes. If that, not even sometimes.
And then how much does that 5 seconds do for the business? It shows you guys want to share in the joy of whatever people are pulling. Mm-hmm. The customer not only matters from quote unquote a financial. If you see it through the eyes of somebody that doesn't know about cards, they're just like, oh, they're just selling it. If they see a price in a box, $500, like they're not computing that. Okay, then they see like little Johnny over here. Oh, he pulled Spider-Man Superfractor, and he slow rolls. His mom, his dad are there. You guys are there, and everybody's going nuts. And it's not just bullshit. It's like you're excited for him, because obviously, if you're buying that, you don't want to get like some claw thing that's in a sewer system in Iron Man or whatever the fuck. I mean, you want to get something that's big, and if you get the Spider-Man Superfractor or something big to you, whatever that character is, you're fucking excited. Man, those guys care about the people, and that looks like a fun place to be. If I'm doing cards, maybe I don't know about it, but hey, my nephew does. Maybe I'll take my nephew. Whatever the case may be, but it's good for you guys to show that you're, again, organic, and it's a good business thing too. I hate to say that, but I mean it's in this age, you want to direct the money where it should be directed, and it should be directed at you guys towards your business. And
it's free advertisement.
Yeah, it is. And again, you're buying boxes from us. We want you to pull something great every time. We know it doesn't go that way. We've been on the other end of that stick more times than I can count, and but we root for you. We're not here to root against you. We don't. The thing is, I've learned like one of two things. If people pull something big, chances are they're going to keep ripping. They don't walk away. And then when they don't pull shit, they're going to keep ripping and they don't walk away until they think they can pull something big. So it's like either way, like, but I mean, like the guy who pulled that superfractor, it's like, I don't know if you're going to top it. I just got a case in today direct. I just got another one, paid a lot more to get it, and literally came in, and it just came in. He's like, hey, any chance you guys got more Marvel Chrome? And Tyson's like, let me go check. And the guys, I was gone at the unit getting stuff out, and they're like, we just got a case. He's like, can I do some boxes? Next thing you know, I got a 12-box case, and he ripped 8 of them today. Literally 8. It just came in, and he pulled some cool stuff. I went out there and talked to him, but he didn't hit. But he said he's going to try to build this one, the spider. He said he loves it's like the spider web parallel. He said he wants to build the whole set, but he said the reason why he wants to do it, he thinks it's the best looking card. He said there's 399 of each one, so he's like, this should be a fairly affordable set to build, and I love it. I'm going for this set, so that's why I'm ripping these. And I'm like, great, I have like one more case coming after that, and that's it, and it's people I just sometimes they pull a massive card and they got to keep going and vice versa. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I got to go till I hit something. When I get going, I have to pull something to know I got to walk away. Sometimes it takes a long time to do that. Sometimes you just have to just throw in the towel and say, walk away, But the good news is I don't really rip baseball anymore. I really don't rip basketball. I barely rip football. I may do a little bit of football every now and then. I did a select basketball box for the podcast last week. It was actually a decent box. But for me, it's just I like to rip. I actually enjoy ripping Leaf multi-sport and Leaf non-sport. I actually enjoy ripping that stuff because it's easy to sell that stuff. And it's good-looking stuff. It comes already pre whatever. And we can use those singles in store. I mean, it's affordable for a lot of people. And then obviously wrestling and Star Wars. And I used to rip a ton of stuff. I don't anymore. And I've kind of limited to what I want to do. And besides the podcast, I ripped, I actually had fun ripping the new tennis royalty. I went to when I was down in Sarasota, I went to the shop in Tampa and visited them. And I'd already ripped 2 or 3 cases that I had, and they had like 11 boxes left. And I was like, I'm probably going to rip all these. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, we can't sell it. We got in 12 boxes. We have 11 left in 3 weeks. I'm like, I think this stuff looks phenomenal. I watch tennis. I'm going to rip the shit out of this. And I did. And I didn't do great. Ty brought it back. Tyson follows a lot of tennis. He's like, so you got some cool things, but didn't go well. I kind of had a feeling, but I got some cool stuff. And I said, you know what I got between those 11 boxes and a couple of cases? I'm going to have a decent tennis case in Nashville now. And yes, I've secured tennis. I've got a hockey case and a tennis case going out. I will not have a soccer case. I'll have some soccer cards, but I got tennis. And, there's not a lot of people have tennis. If you're looking for tennis, I'm going to have some now. I'm going to lose my ass when I sell these cards, but I had fun doing it. That's how I feel about my wrestling cards. I enjoyed it.
That matters.
So, yep.
So Ryan, like you kept talking for an extended period of time.
Of course I did.
You said you wanted to, but one quick question, and you can give a quick answer, and of course you can drop off. Any chance y'all are going to bring back group submissions for grading?
No. I've got a customer. He's a part-time employee. He does kind of our monthly for us and staff and friends. We send our customers to our friends at the collector store. They're about 20 minutes away. They do a great job PSA submitting, and we work hand in hand together. It wasn't by design, but they're more gaming. And when it comes to sports cards, they'll buy, but they basically now just kind of send everybody to us, and I send everybody to them to grade. No, the responsibility with grading and to what it takes, it's just unless my guy Jerry wants to really run with it, which he had mentioned it. If he wants to go with it, that's on him, and I trust him wholeheartedly. It's been great having him take all of our submissions for just the staff and me and my stuff the past year. I don't deal with it. I shut down my PSA. I kind of shut down. I just didn't renew it, but it's been great. But he has mentioned that he may want to do more in the future, but he's got 2 girls that are at high school that play a lot of soccer, and I know he travels a lot of tournaments and stuff like that. So I don't know. It could be if he wants to run with it. It could be like we take submissions at trade nights. That's on him. He does a great job with it. He's very trustworthy. overnights everything, insures it, just very good about everything. But right now we're back to PSA taking a long time because of all the Pokemon flooding it. And that's the problem is like with customers, when it was Beckett, we did 10-day submissions and you knew it was getting back within 10 days. And there was a guarantee. So then you could tell customers it's going out this day, it'll be back by this. With PSA, I mean, there's some orders now that are back up 5-6 months. It's getting ugly again. So we personally won't. If Jerry wants to run with it, sure. But that's on him. And we do it for a couple good customers. Like literally, we'll like, hey, Jerry's sending one out next week in our group. We're happy to do that for you, but we don't publicize it. And we probably should. We probably should because it leads to the opportunity. Because I know Indy Card Exchange is massive with it, and they have a great following. They buy so much back that way, and we're probably missing the boat there. But man,
it's a lot of work, and I get it.
Much work.
It's
not even about the money. It's just I graded 2 Pokemon cards for my nephew, and we sent them in. I don't know how many months ago, and again, I told him when I sent this in, told him his dad and him, it's going to take some time, and it did. They were nice about it, but any update on that? No. And then I finally got an update last week. One of his cards, I go, I got good news and bad news. One of your cards got an upcharge because it's the card you wanted the 10 got a 10. It's like a $1,500 card that my nephew pulled. Now it's a 10. It's $1,500. So I said, bad news is I don't know. You have to pay 60 whatever you owe now. You may not see for another month. We don't know. Like they're so bad right now. I found an upcharge I had. Neil bought a Hugh Jackman Wolverine auto on ComC, and he bought it years ago. And we took it to National to grade last year, and I forgot to drop it off. It's sitting on my desk forever. It's fucking. And Jerry comes to get it one of these submissions, and I'm like, you know what? Send in Neil's Wolverine cards. Fucking send it there. Well, then next thing you know, Neil gets a 10 and gets an upcharge, and then I sent it to Neil, and I was like, sent it to the group. I go, hey guys, these is pop. Neil, you got this. He's like, wait a second. You mailed that in for me? I forgot you even had that card. I didn't know you even mailed it in. I was like, yeah, it was sitting there. I was supposed to submit it over a year ago for you. So here, Merry Christmas. You're getting a 10 on this card now. I'm like, there you go. But yeah, it's just great. It's just, I just don't, we already deal with a lot with the online orders, the shipping, if things are delayed, we have to answer that. We have to call UPS. We have to deal with this. Yeah. We have to open claims. We get emails all the time, questions. Breakers want their stuff 5 minutes before they place the order. So we have to obviously, we run shipments at 3:00. We'll get a breaker order at 2:40. I need this overnighted, like sometimes 2:50. And I'm like, how's your communication, man? Because you got 10 minutes. It's going out the door in 10 minutes or it's not going out till tomorrow. And that takes a lot out of us communicating, and we do a great job at it, and we respond instantly. And I can't answer to people when your cards are coming because I don't have that answer. God doesn't even have that answer. Let's be honest. I mean, with PSA, it's crazy. So no, yeah.
No, all good. I just thought I'd ask and I'll leave it at that. So,
do you have any insight as to why Beckett died?
Beckett died because Beckett made horrible decisions, and they did not evolve when everybody else did. They had a great thing going, and I think a lot of it had to do with it was not as much Beckett. I think too many influencers were PSA. Mm-hmm. And we remember how Beckett still is the best holder out there, and I think we all agree to that, and it's not even close. But I think the thing that went away from Beckett was, at the end of the day, PSA was one of the first. They're Coca-Cola. Beckett, I always said, was Pepsi. When I used to drink soda, Pepsi tasted better. They weren't around as long, they tasted better. And I think Beckett changed ownership many times. Management changed. My buddy Charles, who was there, I thought was a lifer. He's no longer there. I think they fell behind on so many ways and just did not adapt and evolve. And they made that announcement they were changing and not going to a thing. And they're like, oh, April Fools. No, it just backfired brutally. They just – SGC, I think, has taken over them as far as that goes now. And PSA owns them, obviously, now. But it's just crazy to see what happened to them. And I would not advise grading your stuff with Beckett anymore. As much as the holders there for – monetary value to add the value. I mean, I'll grade, try PSA first with some vintage, and sometimes they don't want to grade something because it could be, mini size or whatever because it was cut differently in 1962. And then I'll send it to SGC, and either we'll get a grade or it'll get back, authentic, where it still has value in SGC holder for a vintage car, whereas Beckett, no value. Like you don't. Yeah. It's just it's unfortunate because all my LeBrons are Beckett, but all my prefer Beckett holder. But it's not, I mean, if I were to go up one day, I mean, it's going to be a lot easier for my family to sell or anything like that. And I think PSA is only going to continue to just go through the roof. I mean, they're now, I saw now they're going into comic book rating, which could be absolutely massive, for them. I know it's going to take a while, but I mean, they could end up taking that one day, so
Beckett ruled the roost for a lot of years.
Yeah, they did. And their cards sold just as much as PSA.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy what it did. Like what a 9.5 compared to a PSA. I mean, like now it's like you see a PSA 9 worth more than a 9.5 on things. I'm not like older things, but like newer stuff.
And by a substantial amount.
But people don't. It's not cool. Beckett's fell behind, and they don't even do Chicago anymore. They stopped doing Chicago. I don't even know where. I think they just do like the Dallas Card Show now, and because they're in their hometown. I have no connections to anybody at Beckett anymore. Everybody who I knew there, I was good friends with the president, really good friends with my rep. And again, when I got to know him, he wasn't the president. He ended up taking over, and he left. He's with Pristine Auctions, I think. The other one, he's now at Pristine. He went to PSA for a little bit, and then now he's with Pristine. And I've known nobody at Beckett. Nobody.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I knew a lot of people at Beckett, had a great relationship with them, and we were submitting every trade night. We were submitting all the time, getting orders out weekly, bi-weekly. We had a very big account with them, and they just fell apart, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's too bad. I just remember where it got to where their people had orders out like 18 and 24 months.
Yeah, they screwed up there. That was another thing, is that no guarantee, and it got to the point where I'm like, you literally like people who sent these cards in. These cards are absolutely worthless now because of that player doesn't do anything anymore. So yeah, crazy what the hobby's done in so many ways.
Indeed.
So
well, yeah, I'm going to bed.
Me too. I got to get up, and I got about 6.5, 7 hours. It's summertime, so I get to make it a little bit longer in the summer. But my wife comes back from either running or going to the gym, and if I'm in the shower, not in the shower when she gets home, she's like, "Are you serious? Like you're supposed to be out of the shower by now, helping with the kids." But the kids don't have any camp or anything tomorrow, so I just got to work. I think they got some plans, so the kids, we let them sleep right now. Unless they have camp, but what'll happen is tomorrow will be a sleeping day, and they'll all wake up at 6:30 in the morning. That's how it goes.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but thanks again for having me on, guys. Dave, you guys got any last question? We shut her down.
No, I think we'll roll with this, and then get you on at least one more time before National, and get the play by play and what's going on then, and then see how the grind.
Usually the week, not to interrupt. Usually it seems like the week before, when I'm in the grind with John in the dungeon, pricing is the better opportunity for me. Because then I have a better idea what the frig is going on. What do I have? What's it going to entail? So I would say that week would probably work better for me. Would be that Tuesday before the National, the week prior, not the week of. So
like the 15th or whatever that would be.
20. No, it'd be
22nd.
Good question. I probably need to figure that out because I got to get my ass in gear with that. Only in July. So it'll be the 22nd because National is a week later this year. National runs the last week of July into August. And, of course, the day I come back is my wife's birthday. And, yeah, she doesn't miss when National does that.
And every National I've gone to has coincided with my mother's birthday. I miss it. I missed it every time I went because their birthday is August 1st.
Yeah. You're not going to miss that one. Usually, unless you get out July 31st or whatever. Great to see you too, Steve. I guess Steve bounced out.
Probably had to take the dogs out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he let the dogs out. So, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It was fun. Always a pleasure. I don't know how the hell I'm awake right now. I don't know how I made this long, but my body hates me today. But thank you again. We'll do this again soon. And he's going to smoke. He let the dogs out already, I guess. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. I'll keep in touch, and hopefully Neil will get his old ass on.
Murder She Wrote comes on too early. He can't make it this late. There's no way, Neil. I bet Neil is asleep by 9:45. I'm not joking. Literally, I think he messaged me.
I told him to. You can come on early, and then when you come on, when you're on, that's the hot tag. You can tag out.
Tag out, yeah. You come in. He should be on. He could have gone on. He forgot. I messaged him reminding him, like, thanks, I never forgot. I told him today because he was on vacation last week, and yeah, it's just Neil. But yeah, maybe you pry him, poke him, and say, hey, come on. Don't have to wait till Ryan gets on. You can come on before, hang out for 30 minutes to an hour, and then go to bed.
I know, and I've said that so many times. I'm like, again, I love you guys on here as a team. I love listening to you. I want to hear Neil too. I know he's always like the behind the scenes, like the ticker tape thing on the hat at the computer trying to get everything done. But I'm like, I know you've got some stuff to say. I know you do. So come on, say it. And again, you say it on the podcast. Sometimes you're in a video on Instagram or a clip or whatever the fuck you call them. Come on here. Come back to where you know what to do. Come on. Do the Harlem Shake.
To the Harlem Shake. Good old Harlem Shake. Never forget that. That was a good time. So, all right, brother. Be good. Thanks again. And I'm going to try to hopefully fall asleep the next 20 minutes. I don't think it'd be possible, but it'd be great if I could. So,
at least you don't have to be up at 3:30.
You lose. Yeah, you just lost.
Big Al.
We'll try to get some sleep, all right?
Always try.
All right, guys. Take care.
Later, Ryan.
Take care, Ryan. Hi, Dave.
Hello, Vincenzo. Oh, and again, I love it. It's long. That's all I can ever say, and there's like never any day. Just Trista said like, hey, go on like Wednesdays because you don't have like. I said I don't want to go. Okay, winter, we're on a Tuesday because Wednesday turns into my day off because we only get freight on Monday, Thursday, and I don't want to sit there and have everything go back and forth. I mean, there's softball season's enough, so it's like, fuck, I don't.
You can change it whenever you want. It does not matter to me.
No, it's just I want consistency, and if I talk about consistency and everything else, but then all of a sudden we don't have it here, it's like, well, that's fucking.
Well, our lives haven't been consistent since 1996, so.
Pre-war.
Yeah, pre-war. War's over. I got to get parts for my head.
Post-war. You can go ahead and wrap us up, Dave. You knew I'd be back fairly quick.
I knew you'd be back. So,
Nothing.
Thank you for Ryan coming on. Always a pleasure. Always super valuable insight and a lot of things. Card world. It's not the better half when you had last week.
I'm drinking myself this week. The goat. If you believe that, I'll tell you another one. Gabagool.
So hopefully you can catch it live, you watch it back in the archives, because again, anytime he's on, any of the ones that him or Neil have been on, very, very insightful stuff for the industry, for the hobby, for cards in general, sports trading cards and the non-sports trading cards. So thank him for taking his time, and thank you for taking your time watching us. listening and spending a Tuesday night here in the IRP. So, for Ryan, for Michael, for Vincenzo, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards is a wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Bye,
But everybody.